I was thinking about you, but you were way too far away. Why'd you go away? I said, why'd you go away? I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left to say. I'm stuck in my ways. I said, I am on my way. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame. Honestly, can't you see what you've done to me? Like honestly, how could you move on from me? I proved you wrong, and I lost it all. Like when I left, I lost control. It's all your fault, I'm on my own. Tell me what's going on, what's in your head? I miss your voice, miss you in bed. Constant text you left on red. I'll never see your face again. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame.
Honestly, if you want to continue to be petty like this, go for it. Keep ignoring my calls. Keep denying every single text I have ever sent you. Because I'm done. This bullshit over and over and over again. I'm so sick and tired of it. And you just don't understand. But that's fine. I'm used to being second place.
I tried and tried and tried. No matter all the times you lied, I cried and cried and cried. That took me late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm not shit. I'm off one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic. Just to me, you're dead. 'Cause I lost it, lost it all again. Can't go on without you. Too many memories put behind. I can't go on without you. I think I've been pushed to the side. Where'd you go? Where am I? Where are we? I'm all alone. Refuse to help me. We've been touched so long. It's 3:30. If I had one wish, it would be yours permanently. Late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm not shit. Some of one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic. Just to me, you're dead. 'Cause I lost it, lost it all again. Lost it all again. I lost it all again.
Wow, voicemail again. Classy, I like it.
So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Love the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Got your beard till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on. Put me on blast, one side of the story. You don't wanna hear me out, cause you loving the glory. Thought I saw your true colors, but my vision was blurry. Forever lasts forever, but you left in a hurry. Say you wanna get drunk, make love. I just wanna take drugs, have fun. Put your body in a Maybach and ride So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Let the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Thought you'd be here till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you've been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on.
Bunny Daniel.
I was thinking about you, but you were way too far away. Why'd you go away? I said, why'd you go away? I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left to say. I'm stuck in my ways. I said, I am on my way. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame. Honestly, can't you see what you've done to me? Like honestly, how could you move on from me? I proved you wrong, and I lost it all. Like when I left, I lost control. It's all your fault, I'm on my own. Tell me what's going on, what's in your head? I miss your voice, miss you in bed. Constant text you left on red. I'll never see your face again. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame.
Honestly, if you want to continue to be petty like this, go for it. Keep ignoring my calls. Keep denying every single text I have ever sent you. Because I'm done. This bullshit over and over and over again. I'm so sick and tired of it. And you just don't understand. But that's fine. I'm used to being second place.
I tried and tried and tried. No matter all the times you lied, I cried and cried and cried. Then it took me late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm not shit. I'm off one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic. Just to me, you're dead. 'Cause I lost it all again. Can't go on without you. Too many memories put behind. I can't go on without you. I think I've been pushed to the side. Where'd you go? Where am I? Where are we? I'm all alone. Refuse to help me. We've been touched so long. It's 3:30. If I had one wish, it would be yours permanently. I tried late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm not shit. story. You don't wanna hear me out cause you loving the glory. Thought I saw your true colors but my vision was blurry. Forever lasts forever but you left in a hurry. Say you wanna get drunk, make love. I just wanna take drugs, have fun. Put your body in a Maybach and Ralph Lauren. We could get wild, we don't gotta stay boring. Summer so sweet, California. Cause girl you know me and I adore ya. We could make peace, don't make me more ya. You may be evil but I adore ya. So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Let the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Thought you'd be here till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on. I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no.
Oh, I swear you fucked it up. Ever since you left, all I knew was to run my money up. And now you see I'm coming up, got it on my own. I was down bad on my ass, and I can't find a happy home. Yeah, yeah. Promise I won't bother you. No sense ain't calling you. Don't know why I would fall for you. All the shit I offered you, baby, I can't talk to you. I'm just not comfortable, baby, you're not loving me. Fuck it all up.
I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no.
Honestly, if you want to continue to be petty like this, go for it. Keep ignoring my calls. Keep denying every single text I ever sent you. Because I'm done. This bullshit over and over and over again. I'm so sick and tired of it. And you just don't understand. But that's fine. I'm used to being second place.
I tried and tried and tried, no matter all the times you lied. I cried and cried and cried, then it took me late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm not shit, it's I'm off one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic, just to me you're dead. 'Cause I lost it all again. Can't go on without you. Too many memories put behind. I can't go on without you. I think I've been pushed to the side. Where'd you go? Where am I? Where are we? I'm all alone. You refuse to help me. We've been touched for so long. It's 3:30. If I had one wish, it would be yours permanently. I tried late into the night. When I lost it, So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Let the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Got your beard till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on. Put me on blast one side of the story. You don't wanna hear me out cause you loving the glory. Thought I saw your true colors but my vision was blurred. Forever lasts forever but you left in a hurry. Say you wanna get drunk, make love. I just wanna take drugs, have fun. Put your body in a Maybach and Ralph Lauren. We could get wild, we don't gotta stay boring. Summer so sweet, California. Cause girl, you know me and I adore ya. We could make peace, don't make me more ya. You may be evil, but I adore ya. So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Let the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Got your beard till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on.
Taylor, turn that
I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no.
Oh, I swear you fucked it up. Ever since you left, all I knew was to run my money up. And now you see I'm coming up, got it on my own. I was down back on my ass, and I can't find a happy home. Yeah, yeah. Promise I won't bother you. No sense in calling you. Don't know why I would fall for you. I should have offered you. Baby, I can't talk to you. I'm just not comfortable. Baby, you're not lovable. And you fucked it all up.
I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no. I was thinking about you, but you were way too far away. Why'd you go away? I said, why'd you go away? I have nothing nothing left to say. I have nothing left to say. I'm stuck in my ways. I said I am on my way. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame. Honestly, can't you see what you've done to me? Like honestly, how could you move on from me? I proved you wrong, and I lost it all. Like when I left, I lost control. It's all your fault, I'm on my own. Tell me what's going on, what's in your head? I miss your voice, miss you in bed. Constant texts you left on red. I'll never see your face again. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame.
Honestly, if you want to continue to be petty like this, go for it. Keep ignoring my calls. Keep denying every single text I have ever sent you. Because I'm done. This bullshit over and over and over again. I'm so sick and tired of it. And you just don't understand. But that's fine. I'm used to being second place.
I tried and tried and tried. No matter all the times you lied, I cried and cried and cried. Then it took me late into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. And you're calling, I'm nauseous. I'm off one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic. Just to me, you're dead. 'Cause I lost it, lost it all again. Can't go on without you. Too many memories put behind. I can't go on without you. I think I've been pushed to the side. Where'd you go? Where am I? Where are we? I'm all alone. You refuse to help me. We've been touched so long. It's 3:30. If I had one wish, it would be yours permanently. I tried it into the night. When I lost it, I lost it, I lost it again. You're calling, I'm nauseous. I'm off one again. If I'm honest, you were toxic. Just to me, you're dead. 'Cause I lost it, lost it all again. Lost it all again. I lost it all again.
Wow, voicemail again. Classy, I like it.
So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Love the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Got your beard till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on. Put me on blast one side of the story. You don't wanna hear me out cause you loving the glory. Thought I saw your true colors, but my vision was blurry. Forever lasts forever, but you left in a hurry. You wanna get drunk, hey.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to the Game Rogue $1,500 Majors. My name is Yali, and I am joined by Sater, and we have got an exciting matchup for you here today.
Yeah, very exciting. It is actually a repeat from yesterday as well, so we will break that down a little bit. We do have to remind you that there is a weekend coming up where you can play Siege. You can play another tournament that is coming at the end of the month, so everyone, sign-ups are live. Please jump into that one. But I do have to ask a couple of questions. Did you watch the game yesterday, and how excited are you to see Red Right Hand come back into this and go for that match once more?
I'm really excited to watch it. I mean, the game yesterday, obviously, HKR won that, which propelled them straight into the grand finals. Red Right Hand had to go again against Outlast. Gave them a little bit of a warm-up, though. They beat Outlast 7-1, 7-1, which is an absolutely nutty scoreline against a pretty talented team. So if they can bring that energy that they brought last time, I think they could have a chance to, in the very least, take a couple maps off of HKR.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the other side of it, HK, they were favorites coming into this. They're our two-time champions. We can never deny that they are a very, very good team, but they did look a little bit closer on the other side. So in their first game, it was 3-4 at the start of that, and then when they flipped it around, it was HK actually clutching that one out. But HK did kind of run them over in the bank map. So we will talk a little bit about the map selections coming through. So bank was banned immediately by Red Right Hand. So the choices that come through, anything speaking to you as this is one of their maps?
Honestly, it speaks a little bit to me that Red Right Hand might be a little bit scared of Hong Kong Rebels. Maybe scared isn't the right word, but cautious, right? They know that that Hong Kong Rebels is a really talented team, and they need to respect the fact that, hey, they're good on some of the maps. Especially if you take them to a map and they roll you on it, that's going to be obviously, why would you go there again, right? But other things that kind of stand out to me, I mean, the fact is, right? Man, I'm looking back over the map bans again really fast, right? Red Right Hand picked Oregon, yeah, which was a map that we saw Outlast play. Oregon is one of Outlast's better maps, and Red Right Hand beat them 7-1, absolutely dominant, starting on the attacking side, winning 5 out of 6 rounds on the attack, which is kind of a wild scoreline for Oregon. Obviously, it's around 60% defensive win rate. So seeing that is really something to be scared of, and I think Hong Kong Rebels is definitely going to have to give them the respect that they deserve moving into some of their picks.
Also, HK Rebels did actually play Oregon previously in their match against Silent Sins. When me and Jim were watching that one, it was really, really close between HK Rebels and Silent Sins on that map. So that might be right hand going, we know we can play that map well. We know we're probably a better team than Silent Sins. And coming into this one, we have to look at this one like, okay, if we can beat them there, that sets us up perfectly to get into that kind of tiebreaker situation where it all comes down to those big clutches, those really intense moments. But going to Skyscraper first, it's going to be my first time seeing it in this bracket myself. I'm very, very scared to see HK Rebels go to that map because I did like them on some of their other maps, especially against Silent Sins. Villa, a really, really good map. It wasn't taken away early. I'm very surprised they didn't go for Villa when they were so dominant on it.
Yeah, I was really surprised about that. That was the other thing that I was having a look at. I mean, no Villa kind of surprised me, as well as picking Skyscraper right out the gate with HKR, picking that. Yeah, very interested to see how that one actually ends up turning out. Skyscraper is definitely a map that can really benefit a team if they have a lot of preparation on it. I'm not going to say that Red Right Hand doesn't have a lot of preparation. Obviously, Rebels has been together for a very long time at this point, at least when we start talking about T3 teams, but they've been together for 4 or 5 months at this point. Because Red Right Hand more or less pugged their way into SES. They have really picked up the slack since then. We saw during the last matchup that they played against Outlast, every single site on attack or defense, they had at least 2 different ways to play it. So that really speaks to the flexibility that Red Right Hand has, as well as the fact that a lot of those players are a little bit more used to pugging things out. I think Red Right Hand could have the flexibility benefit. Whether or not they'll be able to apply enough pressure and aggression, though, to catch HKR off guard as they did with Outlast remains to be seen.
Also, they did play into Outlast. They did play Villa previously, and they went 7-1. On the other side, though, when HK Rebels played it, it was a 7-2, and they still looked shaky. I remember a lot of rounds coming down to clutches from big players, and I guess that comes to now talking about these big players, the standout players from both teams, and HK Rebels. Their roster changes quite a bit sometimes, but their solid group is so flexible in what they're picking that you do have to keep an eye on who's playing what at all times, because they can just swap it up in a second.
Yeah, no, that is something that, as well as speaks to a little bit to the current meta. I mean, they don't necessarily have entirely set roles per se. They just know, hey, this person's going to do best in this situation, and they need that operator there. And that's all they're considering. They're not considering, so much this sort of traditional style of designating roles to specific players. But I will say, if there is a couple specific players in this matchup that have specific roles, I have to say Rai, super talented in terms of entry.
Yeah.
Like, that's just given. And then as well, Diffuser and Sen, respectively, taking really powerful stances and aggression on those two maps that we watched versus Outlast. I believe on the first map, Sen finished with 14 kills. On the second map, Diffuser finished with 18 in a 7-1. So those are definitely going to be two players that you have to watch. If anyone can, really step up their game and apply a lot of pressure and difficulty to Hong Kong Rebels, it's going to be those two players. So definitely keep an eye on them.
The one thing I do want to point out really quickly is we did have a head-to-head previously, and luckily I still have the graphic of HK Rebels Rai, and it was 781 hours, 55.9% headshots, best season MMR 5.2, and they didn't get the community vote. I will point that out really quick. The community did go for Silent Sins with Rival, but that's a lot of hours, and that's a really, really high headshot percentage going into that, because usually you'll see it start to decrease as time goes on. The headshots aren't as important, just getting the kill is kind of important, but keeping your headshot percentage so high is really, really scary going into this as Red Right Hand, because Rai could just take over a game. But we also can't forget Burnt Turkey, one of the players I've watched and went, oh my god, he's done it again, and he'll pick up 2 kills at the very start of round and just immediately set people back. And there's a lot of players there that can do that, so I'm constantly getting scared for every team going into HK. But seeing them yesterday, Red Right Hand, they did kind of get stomped in map 2, but map 1 very, very close. And I think it comes down, Sen especially, or CE.N, very, very strong. I think it was Shmee as well, or Shmees, very strong. Schmink, there's 2 of them. There's Sneeze as well, is it?
I don't believe Sneeze was playing in the last match, but possibly. I
remember Sneeze as well from RK.
Yeah.
And it was just, they were very, very strong players. And I think Bank just kind of took them out. It wasn't a map they probably practiced quite a lot. I think, if not taking Villa, strange, but this map selection, it seems a little bit more standard, bar their skyscraper pick. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with it. But it's all in Red Right Hand to prove they deserve their spot.
Yeah, I agree. And even if they don't, they're walking away with $400 in their pocket, as opposed to whoever wins, it's going to be $1,000 in their pocket. So this is effectively a $600 game. So this is going to be a lot of very intense play. There's a lot on the line, right? One thing I do want to point out, you mentioned Burnt Turkey. I actually had the opportunity to coach Burnt Turkey for about 2 weeks. Way back in the day on Mystic Academy. And if he is anything that like what he was at the time, he's a really smart kid. He's got all the knowledge of the game and everything. So seeing him on a team like this, even shooting back, which, let's be clear, he does that quite well. But beyond that, he's got the knowledge and the ability to communicate that can really help a team advance. And I think that's part of the reason why HK Rebels has done so well. Whereas Red Right Hand, I still have to question a little bit how they got here. Obviously, they're fantastic. They're a fantastic team, but and a lot of these names are kind of legacy names, if you will, but I don't look at this roster and go, these are all really talented players that would make a good team environment. I just see a bunch of very talented players.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, which
Star
is
power.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it is kind of that interesting back and forth. But in any case, we have everyone here in the lobby. So we're going to go ahead and get it started up. Really excited to see how this match turns out. After all, it is grand finals, and there is a lot on the line right now.
There is, but the one thing I do want to point out before we jump in, the last thing from the bracket for Red Right Hand, they were undefeated up until HK Rebels. They just about beat everyone cleanly. I guess Packwatch 7-5, 7-4. Packwatch, another great team. But as we're jumping into the game now, the ban's coming through. Nook is probably going to be taking away Solace, Myra. they're kind of the favorite bands we've seen, especially from the ones I've watched. But I kind of want to see someone just pick up the mantle. It's something that I say from all the other esports that I kind of cast, is that someone just needs to ban something, even if they play it, ban something wild and really change things up. Take away Ayana and just see how much they panic.
Yeah, I have seen that happen a few times, and it definitely creates a little bit of an interesting atmosphere among the teams when suddenly you're like, oh, I'm missing our entry frag that has 2 grenades. What do we do now? You know, it's hard to replace that operator. But in the meantime, we're going to see Ying and Nook off the board, right on the Nook. The Ying is a little bit more interesting, but I think Red Right Hand as well actually banned out the Ying on Oregon before, so it seems like they just don't really want to deal with it. And Hong Kong Rebels as well has been known to take advantage of the Ying, particularly on this map. So seeing that ban is not entirely surprising, even if it is a little bit off compared to what we see as standard.
And here comes the Myra, more than likely. Solace being taken away, one of the highest banned operators at the moment. But yeah, Ying, a little bit interesting. They won't take away Myra. Okay. Myra available. That's a big change. I think it's the single most banned operator so far in the tournament.
Yeah, that sounds correct.
52.4% of the time it has been Myra, and then second has been Solus, and then Valkyrie comes in third. But Myra getting through is yeah, I'm expecting to see a lot of Akami here though. But Myra and Azami and Myra together could change things up.
I think Mira is most viable on a few specific sites. Mira is good, but there are definitely sites that Mira is not going to be, you know, someone that you're looking at as one of the power picks necessarily, especially on a map as big as Skyscraper. A lot of times a team will see a Mira and then just say, oh, let's just go a completely different direction. You know, so especially on this site, there's lots of different options, and you can't really set up your Miras in a way that covers everything, so it's really easy for teams to kind of just get around it. So not surprised to see a Mira not picked this time, but definitely expecting to see her played rather creatively as the map goes on.
Yeah, as we do get the first swap, Dokkaebi immediately leaving by the looks of things. Jetcon going to swap that one out. I do like Dokkaebi, I do like seeing it, but if they're opting for a different plan, we will go for that. And setup complete. The walk forward. The first couple of steps here towards that $600 game. Take that, and it's an extra bit of money in the bank for yourselves. So we'll see how they do. Yeah, that's good little pocket of change there.
Oh yeah, for sure. In any case, though, starting this off, we're seeing this sort of across the map push. Not surprised to see it, as well as the fact that we have Diffuser and Owen closer to this side of the map. That makes sense, especially given the fact that Owen's utility is just so flexible, as well as the fact that Diffuser obviously is Oryx. It's the fastest operator in the game, so not surprised to see them over here. Likely not going to stay over here for too long, especially if they are aware of Vipoa downstairs. I do like the switch to the Flores. I think that is a direct counter to the Azami, which is, as I mentioned, bringing that flexibility on this side, so that's going to make it a little bit harder for the hold on this side of the map to stay. And it looks like Red Right Hand have thought about that as well. They've all dropped back and wasted a minute of the Hong Kong Rebels time.
Yeah, buying space and buying time is important, but I am liking the way they're taking this. It's hesitant. I'm used to HK being on that kind of front foot and getting that first peak, but right now they are taking their time, really checking everything, as we do see Hologram immediately taken out. They know there's some angle being held there, but we do see Owen opening it up. Jetcon does fall, the leader of the team, and does have to be careful now. It all is going to fall down to that Rai burnt turkey combo. The sandwich bros will be trying to break in here and find something, but very, very good hold coming in from Red Right Hand.
Red Right Hand as well, still having players all over the place. This was typical of what we saw from Red Right Hand previously, but that is not typical from what we saw from Red Right Hand. Sen going down fairly early on in the round, only the second to pick. The player kind of sitting in this sort of wrap position here in Shrine. That could be another pick coming in the direction of Hong Kong Rebels pretty soon, but instead it's going to be Doug, the player that loses their life first, as Ryra looks for the trade. Not going to happen. BZ with another clean pick. Suddenly, Red Right Hand has a huge advantage.
Yeah, 4-2 now. 2 men up is going to be a big one, but Vipoa doing their very best right now. 2 so far in the round, but
Drop the bomb diffuser.
mounting dread here as they know they're the last man standing. They do have to clear the comms now and let Vipoa play this one out. It is only first round, so just try and find your groove, find your momentum. If you can pick up a couple of kills, go for it, but the clutch is not expected here, sadly. 1 versus 3 is just a little bit too much, and Owen will clean that one up for Red Right Hand. Good start. It's a good foundation. They need to keep pushing it, though.
Hong Kong Rebels in this round fell to a very similar thing that Outlast fell to, I will say to a lesser extent. Red Right Hand is able to play in unexpected positions and utilize unexpected aggression in a very impactful way. And Hong Kong Rebels kind of fell to that. If Hong Kong Rebels is unable to find the pressure required in order to force Red Right Hand out of their positions or find the picks that they need, you know, be a little bit unpredictable themselves, then we could see them fail in that direction
Attackers need to locate
again
and
and
defuse
again.
bombs.
I don't think it's likely, though. Hong Kong Rebels has shown time and time again as well that they are quite flexible. So if they are able to look at this and say, okay, I mean, I know I saw some of them in the chat for the Outlast game. They can look at this and say, okay, this is a similar style-ish to what we're looking at, you know, when they played against Outlast. We kind of have an idea of what to do. I feel like I yelled it plenty loud during Oregon for them to have heard it.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly what they need. More information. But I'm looking here and I'm seeing the setups coming through.
Attackers are heading out to
And I'm
defuse a
kind
bomb.
of feeling a little bit scared. Ayana and Ash, 2 very strong agents, but I would like to see Burnt Turkey on a bit more of an aggressive stance, but he is going solo right now with that diffuser all by himself on the far side, and as they start to break through, you do have to wonder if these are the right choices, as Burnt Turkey drops the diffuser and goes down, but it does trade it back, but more importantly, the diffuser has been dropped.
That's going to be Sen off the board. He was a very powerful player in the last matchup. Not so much so far this time, but you're right. The diffuser has been dropped all the way on the other side of the map. That's going to take a minute to get to, and that's going to take a little bit of time. The VIP wall is open. However, opening up this office wall is going to be just a little bit more difficult considering you no longer have your ace. There is a tendency to use the ace to open that wall from a little bit further away to protect yourself from that run out, but it doesn't look like Red Right Hand is preparing for that run out anyway. After all, that would be a little bit too predictable, wouldn't it?
A little bit, but they have retrieved the diffuser here, so at least they've got that going for them. But time is ticking away slowly here for the HK Rebels, and I'm starting to be a bit more cautious about who the star players are. I've always had JetCon and Burnt Turkey as my top 2, and Doug being that clutch merchant, but it looks like Vipoa is the main man right now for HK, and as they do prepare themselves here, I think the preparation from Red Right Hand has been on point so far.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a little bit earlier on that Red Right Hand has some things under their sleeve, but Owen is no longer going to be one of them.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Lost already.
Attackers
3 to
recovered
4
the
advantage to Hong Kong Rebels as they begin to make their execute. JetCon looks like he's prepared to take a plant, but I don't know about that position for the plant. That is exposed to the rotate, but looks like all the players on Rebels are more than prepared to cover it. Rai cleaning up the final 2 members, and first, or rather second round, goes in favor of Hong Kong.
Yeah, lovely little 2k there for Rai, and picking those up does set them in a great position now. And I was hesitant and cautious about that take, but once push came to shove, they broke through that door, they got that plant down, and they opened it up. So HK Rebels, great little take there. I do want to see more of it, though. I want to see more aggression and more of that just go button, and they just hit it, and they just hit every shot too.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Down into Kitchen Barbecue. This is a pretty common space to hold, and we're seeing the shield go up in Pantry. Not surprised. Pantry is, after all, one of the most powerful positions when we talk about this site. If you look at the bar area, you can see very plainly it's really open. There's a lot of angles, and it's hard to make your way through there. So most of the time as an attacking team, you're kind of looking to stay in the restaurant area over by that bathroom or bottom black or pantry, or you're going for a vertical take. Simply for the fact that that pantry position is just so powerful. So,
It's an easier hold.
5 seconds left.
yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what they need. I did want to point out, Beezy has came in for Sneeze.
Moving out to locate a bomb and defuse
And I really rated Sneeze highly on the side of Red Right Hand, so genuinely curious to see if this is maybe if we're going for these maps, take this player in. I feel like it was one of the previous teams that was Outlast with Amty and Kronk and those, that they were swapping players around to get better on those maps. So sorry to see that Kronk didn't make it through. Kronk and Time was my favorite so far, but Rai and Burnt Turkey, they might be my new combo, the Sandwich Bros. I'm going to call them from now on. But JetCon breaking through here. Just they are faster at getting in, and I like to see that. But I want to see that hesitance that came out and then that go. I do like that all for nothing push that HK Rebels have seemed to perfect it over the last couple of maps I've seen them on, and I do like that just bleed out and absolutely nothing, barely any information given over, and then just a go. I love it so much.
Well, I think the issue here is that Red Right Hand have a very similar playstyle to that, and Hong Kong Rebels is aware of that. So they know that if they sit back and they actually let Red Right Hand play off of just like a little bit of intel, they're going to be perfectly fine doing that as well. So Hong Kong Rebels would rather make sure they have all the intel that they could possibly get, and if they do, they know that they can actually take those firefights and win them. Because, I mean, after all, look at that. Doug finding a kill. Hong Kong Rebels is betting on the fact that they have better mechanical skills than Red Right Hand right now.
Yeah, and it seems to be panning out for them for the moment. Doug coming up big there on that Ayana and taking that first frag. Sen falling, one of the more, I'd say, star-type players they have. I know they're all kind of stars in their own way, and you were saying that their Fight Poa just opens up onto 2. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to just poke your head in like that and get 2. It's illegal at this stage. This is the grand finals. This isn't a major. So you have to save that for when you go big. But we have Schmink and Beezy here trying to hold their angles, but it's looking very scary for them now.
Yeah, Schmink and Beezy have got to get aggressive and find something, anything. Looks like Schmink wants to make his way into a position that is a little bit less predictable, but Beezy is really getting caught out. I don't think he really has anywhere to move from this point, and only a sliver of HP. As far as I'm concerned, this is basically Beezy being gone already, and it's all up to Schmink. Beezy may be allowed to sit in this position for a little bit longer, but I don't think it's going to last forever, and Schmink is well forced out of his position. Now Hong Kong Rebels have a completely clear site to try and execute onto, so long as they can make it past this crossfire that Beezy and Schmink have set up.
They're up high on this skyscraper, and a strong gust of wind could eliminate both of them, but JetCon's going to take it first, and Doug will clean it up. A flawless round coming in from the HK Rebels, and in all honesty, that was flawless from them. That was perfection.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Just getting the exact amount of information that you need and executing off of it. Really, that is so indicative of the meta right now. You get information, you say, okay, let's do this off of it, and then you do it as fast as possible. And it works. Hong Kong Rebels are doing a very good job of that, gathering information without giving too much away. Red Right Hand are susceptible to that. I will point out, though, this is Hong Kong Rebels map pick. They're a lot more used to this sort of give and take of information that we're seeing than Red Right Hand would be on a map such as Skyscraper. So there is a little bit of that to be said.
Yeah, it is. When it comes to map selections, you should be the ones leading the charge, and them being on attack first, HK Rebels is a team from me watching them previously. I always thought their defensive side was incredibly strong, and on their attacking side, they seem to falter sometimes and just get a little bit too lost in the sauce, as it were, and get a little bit too aggressive. But on their defensive side, they've always been really, really strong. So looking at this, seeing them take a good attacking stance and getting into the right positions, right times, and taking that flawless, I don't really want to see how well they're going to play on defense. I'm really scared of Red Right Hand that this is how it's going.
Slow start from Hong Kong Rebels here. Well, rather on this round specifically, but what it really is them just making sure they have the information they need. You see, they've got all these preset drones all around the map. That's so that they don't have to drone around looking for information. Rather, instead, see how that Mozzie has no idea that there's a drone there. If they're actually droning in, Mozzie's going to know there's a drone there 100% of the time. But just the fact that they've got all these preset drones that they can just hop on, look at, it's faster, and it gives away less information. So not surprised to see how that's been turning out very effective. There's the information, and there's the kill. Doug finding the first one on the round. Sen getting kind of annihilated during this matchup so far. He was a real MVP during the last one, but so far, not it. Owen instead is going to be the first one to find a kill on the side of Red Right Hand. It's going to put us back into a 4v4 with the nades of Doug off the board.
Yeah, Doug on Diana, very, very key selection here. If they can take that one out early, it would nearly be the first one I'd want to go for, but Burnt Turkey on this ace. I do like it. The Ash as well, 5-1 on Vipoa. Aggressive, looking for those angles. He might be able to catch one here, but he has to be careful. He's going to cross over. Nothing, no sprays, no shots. Shield going up very quickly there, but where's the go button? When are they going to hit it?
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been
Beautiful kill coming out from Owen, and that's going to be the beginning of the end, potentially, for Hong Kong Rebels. That's your Osa off the board. You no longer have the chance to move an Osa shield into that position, and with those footholds that we see on the right of the screen, right next to Vipoa, like, you just can't plant there,
Attackers recovered the
right?
bomb
It's
diffuser.
exposed to way too many different angles for you to be able to get in and get a plant down there, so it suddenly gets very difficult. Instead, it's going to require a little bit of aggression, and here goes Vipoa. It's not going to work out, though. Owen on for his third on the round. All three make that 4 before JetCon finally finds one. And it's all up to him, and he's stuck outside on this window. Not a very fun spot if he wants this. Probably going to have to actually get into the building, and he's going to do just that, opting to try and make his way up red with a little bit of information. We'll see what he can do in the remaining 30 seconds.
Yeah, not a lot of time. It's ticking away right now, and it's time. You can't really hold on to that. You need to do something here, and the angles being held. Owen, Schmink, Beezy, all in great positions here, holding all the angles they need. No diffuser in hand as well, so it needs to look for this now, but it looks like it's going to be just a let them have it kind of moment, and we can regroup and go again, but the shot's starting to come through. Does take a little bit of chip there and will get caught on the other side by Beezy, and it goes 2 for 2, and it's starting to look a bit back and forth now.
Yeah, very good hold. I mean, nothing much else to say other than that. They got the information that they needed. They executed. Obviously, that's all fine and good. The second they were able to get control of, or rather get that pick onto Doug, I felt like that is where things started to really hurt. But that setup as well, I mean, there really was not a whole lot of ability for Hong Kong Rebels to actually get in and make themselves comfortable, especially after losing that
Attackers
Osa.
need to locate
There's
and
just
defuse
so many
bombs.
angles you can open up on that site. So unless you're able to provide counter pressure, which I'm willing to bet the idea is that Doug was the player who was going to do that, you kind of lose the ability to clear anyone off of those angles, and getting in, especially once you lose your Osa, just becomes a nearly impossible task. You really need to rotate someone around, build a little counter pressure, and that didn't happen during the last round. Red Right Hand takes it for that reason.
Attackers
Yeah, they
have
do,
located
and
bombs.
it's a good indication of Red Right Hand that they're able to bounce back from a flawless so well. And I'm looking here, there's actually going to be a swap for Rai onto the Bucky. I am liking that little bit more aggressive style coming through, and I would like to see them continue going for those aggressive picks. But right now, I think it all really comes down to the likes of
Oh,
I saw it in the corner of my eye.
Easy.
Yeah, not Beezy. Beezy's so big on that Warden being taken out. Owen, though, with those kunai, will be able to hold these angles quite well. Doug does get chunked out there, but does take out Diffuser. It is a really big pick. It does give them such an advantage right now, and Doug can kind of sit back a little bit and play as that second entry, but let someone else take the brunt of the impact. And HK Rebels stacking up as a team, ready to go. And the cameras, as we can see, they are checking every bit of information they can. Oh, here we go. Do love a good hologram. Hologram vision, best vision.
I think it's interesting if we look at Red Right Hand. Sen and Diffuser not having a very good time. They kind of won off of the aggression last time, and Hong Kong Rebels is more than willing to shut it down. Now instead, it's time for Red Right Hand to get a little smart, I think is the way I want to put it. And that's something that we see from Owen. I think that's why Owen is doing so well, given that he is kind of a legacy name, especially one of the legacy names that I was mentioning before. He's been around for, I mean, at least significantly longer than I have, and he's been a very talented player that whole time. So seeing him go off isn't entirely surprising, even if he had a lackluster performance against Outlast. But here it goes. A little bit of aggression, looking for some swings. Nothing gonna come through quite yet, but it is definitely slowing down Hong Kong Rebels and making them think twice.
Yeah, sometimes it is just about breaking that momentum and making them cautious of their entry. And right now it's working out for them. They're pushing them back, they're holding them back, and that's what's important right now. But then again, Rai just decides to say, nope, I'm just going to kill someone instead. So they do get that. They are in a great position now, and they will take another Doug opening up. Sen all alone by Poa. Another flawless. They bounced back, and then they just got bounced.
Seems like Hong Kong kind of knows what they're doing with this site or something. I can't quite
They're kind of good at
quite
this
put my
game or
finger on it.
something. You know?
Yeah. No,
It's a
it's
weird
like they're
one.
the first seed. I can't, and it was their map pick. But I mean, honestly though, double flawless back to back on that site in particular. Like, let's be real, it is a slightly attacker sided site. But flawlessing back to back, that's impressive, and we have to give it to them. As well as the fact that once they started receiving that pressure
Defenders,
back on the
protect your
top floor,
bombs
they
from
said,
being
hey, we could
defused
just
by
do something
attackers.
else. And then they did it, like, very quickly. That ability to adjust is something, like I mentioned earlier, that is definitive of Hong Kong Rebels. That's one of the things that we look for when we watch them play. And, you know, every time I see it, their ability to understand the situation and read into it, it's really something else. I find it quite talented.
Yeah, they've got the book out and they can read exactly what they need, but 3 for 2, your map pick. They are more defender favored, in my opinion, from what I've seen from them before. On the HK Rebels yourself, you've seen them play before. Do you feel like they are a more defender focused? Because right now, 2 flawlesses on attack, it might be changing my opinion a little bit.
I think, in particular, Hong Kong Rebels, I've seen them do very well on attack before, but it kind of depends on the team that they're playing against. Sometimes they do really well on attack, and then a little bit lackluster, but still acceptable on defense, and sometimes they just roll on defense and do okay on attack. I will point out as well, though, that Skyscraper is a map that does have a tendency to sit pretty defender-sided. I mean, we see a lot of the times, if we're watching things like, if we're watching Pro League, which obviously, you know, this isn't Pro League yet, but
Getting there.
getting there.
Quality
These are
is
all very
there. The
talented.
quality. Yeah, the quality is definitely there for some of these players. By Poa, it's eliminated by Own there, and that could definitely change some. Oh, never mind. Just manages to take a good bit of chip damage there and will be set back on that one. A great opening. Kind of goes a little bit awry there with that damage tick, but they still have that man advantage most importantly, and the Samurai staring at him right now, trying to get some honor on his team right now as Doug, peeking around his corners, does manage to find Sen, evens it up, and the health advantage now in favor of HK Rebels, and as they try to throw the utility back, he's already out, but Diffuser on those stairs manages to get that headshot, clean that one up very quickly, and Burnt Turkey, they're in the right positions now.
This camera is actually going to be devastating for Red Right Hand. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to get around that with that intel. There goes Schmink. It's one player off the board, and they're also aware that there's no one here. Echo Cam gets shot out, so no intel on the side of Red Right Hand. Now Rai making this entry as the Thermite manages to find one, but the trades are going out. No one on a triple. Well, he does die. Leaves us at a 1v1. It's JetCon versus BZ.
Yeah, JetCon has to be the clutch merchant here to give HK Rebels that 4-2, but if it can be turned around here, it could be a big momentum swing for a Red Right Hand. They seem to always come back after a flawless, but here we go. This is the corner, this is the peak, and they're just passing like ships in the night. They're just getting, oh, there it is. They see the elbow, they see the corner. JetCon, how are you going to play this one? Utility used, does get the poke, does get a little bit of damage on the BZ. They're both quite low here, and it does fall to the Red Right Hand. BZ manages to clutch that one out, so
Ooh.
I'm a bit scared.
That was a nice shot, especially given the fact that he didn't have his crosshair. I mean, let's be real. You should know where the middle of your screen is if you're a talented player, but...
I don't.
Oh, okay, well...
I'm
I
just
said
not a
if you're a talented player. Yeah, hello?
I'm just not that good. I need my crosshair at all times. Get that old blue tack out from back in the day for the Halo. But yeah, 3-3. We do have a pause coming in by the looks of things. So we have a tech issue. We will get a quick pause in. Let's break it down really quickly. I want to kind of pick your brain a little bit here on Red Right Hand and how they're continuing to bounce back time and time again. So like it goes 1-1, that's cool. Flawless, they come back. Flawless, they come back. How's that mental going to turn around for Red Right Hand to start getting them the win instead of the comebacks?
That is a good question. Red Right Hand, I think, moving into this probably isn't expecting to win this map. Obviously, it's not their map pick. They banned Bank, which I think was a wise decision, but allowing Hong Kong Rebels to just walk in and pick a map that is very heavily focused on how much preparation you have. I can't say how much preparation Red Right Hand has. And honestly, most of what I'm seeing is pretty default. But the fact that they're doing as well as they are, I think their mentals are probably holding pretty strong at this point. Going in, make sure they're taking deep breaths and understanding that, like, hey, we're not going to win every round, but as long as we can do our best, then we have a good chance. There is the factor to be said, though, the fact that they have now just moved over to attack. And like I mentioned, Hong Kong Rebels has done pretty well on defense from time to time. So there's going to be a matter of seeing if this is going to be one of those skyscraper games as well as one of those Hong Kong games where defense is just really overpowered, where you see a map that's incredibly defender-sided or not.
Yeah, and as we do have the rest of the maps open in front of me, we do have, for the map 3, we do have Chalet. So I think, I'm just in the back of my head, I'm thinking that HK Rebels, I think they'll be able to finish this one off. I think their defending side is really good, and I really hope to see that. On the other side, for Oregon, HK Rebels didn't play too well for Silent Sins. So I'm thinking now in the back of my head, I would like to see Red Right Hand take that. But when it does come to Chalet for that decider, I don't have an idea in my head of who's going to win that. I don't see either team having it. It feels more like it's going to be one player is really just going to take over the game for one of these two teams and run it over, and that's kind of scary in the back of my head, because if I'm a player and I'm playing in any competitive environment, if I know that I'm not sure we're going to win this, and I'm probably thinking they're not sure they're going to win it, I have to step up. That puts so much more pressure on these guys, especially $600 either way.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll say
very,
with
very
Chalet,
scared.
you mentioned you weren't sure who was going to win that. Allow me to input my thoughts on that, because Chalet is an attacker-sided map.
Okay.
Everyone knows that, so I'll just put it out there. Chalet is an attacker-sided map, but both of these teams are very talented attacking teams. But the difference is Chalet tends to be a real stomping ground when you have a team that's able to position themselves all over the map, build cutoffs everywhere when you're talking on attack. And then suddenly the defenders, if they don't have any ability to move around, which they already don't a whole lot because it's not a very big map, things can get attacker-sided really, really fast. And Hong Kong Rebels, while they are a very talented attacking team, from what I've seen from them, they tend to be pretty straightforward and aggressive on one front, whereas Red Right Hand can position their players a lot more evenly around the map and look for those trades that are more based on these crossfires that really come to life when Chalet is taken. So I actually have to question whether or not going to Chalet and allowing Red Right Hand to pick defense for their first half, that could be kind of a tough situation for Hong Kong Rebels to deal with.
Yeah, so they will be for Chalet. HK Rebels picked attacker on Chalet.
Oh,
okay. Or Red Right Hand picked attacker on Chalet.
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
That makes more sense. I was very wondered there for a second. So map 3, that could be interesting. And then we go to Team Park after that, which is a very Red Right Hand map. I don't think I've seen HK Rebels on it once. I think I've seen Red Right Hand play it in the bracket at least, and they looked very strong on it. I think it was a 7-2. And then Villa to be the decider. I think that decider map, I can see both teams playing well on. But like the map picks to me, I think there's like a very clear line of who's going to win each, bar that map 3. So very, very worried about what's going to happen there. But we're getting back in. We're going to have a look at the setups once again. And HK Rebels, this is where I see you being the better team. This is my vote for HK Rebels on this. So I really want to see them show up here on this defender side.
Kind of a similar hold from Hong Kong Rebels from what we saw for Red Right Hand. Still a little default. I like reinforcing between Terrace and Dragon. I think that's good. Bringing a Kapkan as well, I think, is
10 seconds to
probably a particularly smart move against Red Right Hand. That was something I recommended
5 seconds
for
to go.
Outlast, a prescription for them, and they didn't do it, they also
Attackers are
lost
moving
1 to
out
7.
locate a bomb and defuse
So
it.
I think bringing the Kapkan here is definitely a smart choice, as well as the Legion to just provide a little bit more intel without giving away too much.
Yeah, as we do see the beginning, the climb, the siege, as some people like to call it. The first push is going to come through here, and Red Right Hand. I'm more used to the aggression coming from HROs with that go button, but I think Red Right Hand have a very similar style, as you said previously, but I feel like it's not really focused in one area. They do like to spread out a little bit more and take multiple avenues all at the same time, so I'm really looking for I think more a player than a play. I'm looking for someone to be that lone star that goes in and really shakes things up on this attack. So let's pick your brain a little bit. From the selections we have in front of us, anything speaking to you? Because that lion is worrying.
The fact that the VIP wall is open is what kind of speaks out to me immediately. It forces Hong Kong Rebels to fall back, and as you can see, they have. I think rather said it's going to be one of these players that's holding one of these aggressive angles, or not even aggressive, but rather cutoff angles. But look at what we have here. Looks like a run out's about to happen, but decides against it wisely. The Hibana was more than aware that JetCon was below, especially after he started hitting that window. So not sure if he's going to keep watching that. Yes, and in the meantime, Lion, like you mentioned, is on the ground. He's taking a nap.
Yeah, he has. I went down immediately. I was worried about the lion going in. I didn't think it was the strongest pick. They will pick him up, but will get chunked again through the wall. So sliver of health there for the lion. And there's not much pride to be left there with that one. Sen being knocked back almost immediately, and it's a good start. Not too much pressure on HK Rebels. And this is something I'm after just realizing in the back of my head. Vipoa with the smokes has gotten like 4 or 5 kills with smokes alone, I believe, over the course of this. And JetCon, that's not allowed. That is not allowed. But Owen immediately picks up Rai on the other side of things, as they do here. Some smokes starting to appear. The utilities start to be used. A push coming in, and Doug pulling some great angles here, but will get taken out, downed, but still alive for the time being. Burn Turkey nearby might be able to get that one back, and Vipo and Burn Turkey opening it up. 2 now for Burn Turkey, and that is the player to watch, with Owen last man standing here. 15 bullets, 4 targets, gets 1, is pushing on for more, knows that revive is around that corner, so will have to keep an eye out, knows there might be 2 there, but will start to sprint at the wrong time, gets taken out. And good hold in the end, good hold. I can't say more.
The positioning of the Kapkan is really key for what we saw right there. Obviously, it provided a lot of ghost pressure. And I think that is something that Red Right Hand was not entirely prepared to deal with, because the Kapkan didn't really do a whole lot other than nitro someone and make them know that he was there. And then suddenly, you know, they're trying to make these entries and they're thinking, oh, Kapkan could be on black stairs. Oh, Kapkan could be on the main stairs. And without the ability to actually know either way, suddenly you're peeking into these things, having to just trust that there isn't someone there, and knowing that someone could be there makes you check that. And then suddenly, you know, your smoke player or your mute player, I didn't catch what it was, swings out and finds 2 kills, and your entire push is just destitute, no longer available, and Team Karaoke goes in the favor of Rebels.
Yeah, as we do have a quick pause coming through there. We have some time to break that first one down, and Sen with the lion getting taken out almost immediately, and it kind of sets the precedent going into that round, right?
Mm-hmm. Typically, a lot of what we see from Red Right Hand specifically is looking at utility and just saying, whatever, we can just walk at it. Hey, that's not going to work with Hong Kong. Hong Kong is very effective at playing around their utility, and that's why the Lion went down. I didn't catch exactly what happened, but more than likely, he was walking at that, getting ready to try and clear that utility, and then the player on Hong Kong just peeked around the shield, cleaned up the Lion, well, nearly cleaned up the Lion, And then suddenly you have a very difficult situation where you're having to pick up the lion, and then the lion gets impacted down to just a sliver of health. And while you are eventually able to get that shield, the utility play by Hong Kong Rebels is proving to be very effective against Red Right Hand, a team that typically in the past, what we've seen, wasn't necessarily as effective against. So kudos to Hong Kong Rebels for that.
Yeah, and I'm looking through more of the maps and more of the stats, and Theme Park has popped up for Red Right Hand. They did win 7-3 on that, so that map will be in play later if we do go to later stages. I'm looking through all of these. Is there... I kind of want to pick your brain on the style you would be going for. So, HA Rebels on defense, this is their map. Is there an operator in mind for you that you would look at and go, if Red Right Hand can play this one operator correctly and get into sight, they could just shake everything up almost immediately? Or is there a worry there that HK Rebels have a good hold on this and that they're kind of stuck out of sorts now, especially with Nook being taken away? Because Nook would be my one.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Nook would be mine too, but I think there is another option that's kind of weird and out
Once
there a
the
little
hand
bit.
goes
But
up, I know something's going to go weird. That hand came up and went, okay,
Yeah,
this is
no,
going to be
right?
spice
Yeah.
immediately.
But no, it's like this is gonna sound weird, but I'm being creative. I'm doing the creative thing. Monty and Jackal. I've
Yeah, I
seen
needed the stress penguin for that one. Okay.
Yeah, my
right.
bad. My bad. No. I've seen Monty be really effective, and especially when you're playing against a team that has good utility play, bringing a Monty to play behind can really interrupt that utility play, right? You don't have the same kind of angles, and it's almost like you have your own deployable shield, but your deployable shield is better because it moves with you, right? And
Mm,
the Jackal as well to kind of clear out those stragglers that we have, because the roam clear here, I think finding that first pick would be really, really good for Red Right Hand if they can get aggressive on the roam that exists, because Hong Kong Rebels are going to keep that roam. This is way too big of a map not to do that.
mhm.
Then maybe they have a chance. But even then, I still think at that point, it really comes down to like a 50-50 gunfight on the roam. And there's nothing that you can really necessarily do and say that's like, yeah, this is going to guarantee that you win. But I think that might give them more opportunity than what they showed, at least during that last round, because the utility play was just so good from Hong Kong.
Yes, so that's definitely a spice. I'm gonna watch for that hand more in future when I start to see these ones coming through. The stress penguin has been just squeezed quite a bit right now because Monty would terrify me if I did manage to see that one. Yeah, with the Nook being taken away and with Myra being available, I think defense, if they do go for Monty, they might have the opportunity with Myra to make something happen with that. Take that one and then just completely shut that one down. But I do have some other worries in my mind on the defensive side for. So, from what I've seen before, Hong Kong, they do have this thing of if they start to lose one, it starts to ramp, and they seem to be a team that gets heavily affected by morale. And the furthest you push someone, especially on defense when it comes to HK, if you start to pick up a round and it starts to get shaky in the rounds after that, they do kind of fall apart a little bit. So maybe the Monty might be the one to. I think he might be onto something, maybe, but
Maybe.
it has to come out. That's the thing. That spice has to appear, and I think Sneeze not being in the roster at the moment has been put on the bench for now, and Beasley has come in. I think Sneeze might have been the player to do that because from what I saw before, there was a lot of spice that came out from Sneeze. There was some very interesting picks coming through. I think there was a couple of Dokkaebis coming out when Dokkaebi probably wasn't the top operator to be picking, but it seemed to work for Sneeze when it came through. So, yeah, Monty, Jackal. Jackal, I can see. Jackal, I could see.
Yeah.
I could see Jackal.
The
Let's be
Jackal
honest
for
there.
sure, but the Monty, like I was thinking Jackal, and I was like, there is an option. There is, there is an operator that really spices things up, Um, so I think that's possible. And like you mentioned as well, Hong Kong Rebels is kind of affected by the mental game.
Mhm.
That's just true. Seeing a Monty, if you lost a round to Red Right Hand of all teams bringing a Monty, I could see that being a little bit shocking, especially if you've got like a Jackal and a Monty, and then the roamer's just running around like, I got a Jackal on me. You know, that might really get inside their mental. Maybe Red Right Hand should just start typing.
You know, maybe really try to go for that mental break and just with the question marks and the lol and nice shots and stuff, just really try to get into their heads. But we will be getting back in the game in just a few moments. And yeah, I think it's in the back of my head, but Valk being taken away as well is starting to creep into my mind that might have been one of those interesting ones to take away. Because I can't really remember off the top of my head Valk being played too much. And I'm starting to think in my mind that Myra should have been taken. Because I think it could really open up the defender side.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, if you're not going to play the Mira, then
don't let them play it.
You ban Mira. Yeah, exactly. Especially because, I mean, if you do have Valk on the board and you're good at Valk, Valk is just such a potent operator. And we saw Red Right Hand on Oregon previously. They brought an Echo and literally just made aggressive plays off the Echo over and over and over again. They know how to use the intel. They don't have the operators to gather that intel right now. And I think that is really limiting their play against Hong Kong Rebels.
Yeah, Ying, I've actually seen Ying banned quite a bit. And this is the worst thing about tech pauses. I just want to get back in and see what they're going to go for. It's so... This poor penguin just gets the worst when I'm casting, really does. But yeah, we do have some tech issues. We're waiting for players to get back in. There is some Wi-Fi issues. People got to start getting onto that wired connections, guys. Just run the cable through the ceiling. Don't worry about it. You got to get it done. But
yeah, don't listen to your landlord. You know.
No, God, no. Mine's running around the door frames and under doors and around doors, and like I'm downstairs, so it's not too bad. But upstairs also has a wire in each room. So it's everywhere. But for me right now, I think Burnt Turkey and Rai have been doing their jobs and Viboa has been quite clutch. On the other side, I really want to see Schmink really start to pick it up and Diffuser start to open it up a little bit more on his attacking side. Because I know the players can do it. I've seen them do it before. I feel like the star power is there. They just need to start working as a unit and getting those players activated to the best of their ability.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that does come from, like I mentioned before, you know, you can't really just get aggressive off of nothing. And I think Schmink, Sen, and Diffuser are, I'm not going to say used to getting aggressive off of nothing, but they're used to having more intel than what they have right now. And so they're used to being able to get away with aggression off of intel that they just don't necessarily have right now. So that's severely limiting those players, especially in particular. I mean, you mentioned Schmink. I'm just shocked to see Diffuser and Sen struggling as much as they are right now after what they did this morning.
Do you think Red Right Hand should take one player and just go, right, you're not landing your shots. Let's be honest about it. You're now going to be purely utility based on this attack. You make sure to activate everyone else. Is that the call that should come true from Red Right Hand?
I don't know if I can say that that is the call that should come through, because players are so particular. Well, okay, egotistical, yeah, but they're so particular. Like, that call makes sense in theory, but if it's the wrong player, they just don't actually have the ability to do that. You know, and it might just end up being an even more of a detriment because everyone's expecting them to do it, and then they're unable to, and then the blame goes all onto that player just because they're doing something outside of their comfort zone, and it can kind of create I'm not gonna say a toxic team environment, but a difficult team environment.
So that's the thing. I was a captain of a team, and when we were playing Siege together, if someone just wasn't landing their shots, I'm like, okay, you're just utility. Sorry, but you're not landing shots. Yeah. And that would work in an environment where you can trust each other to be confident in your call, to say, look, as a team, we can do this better if you just Don't let your ego get ahead of you. Like sometimes it was even the guy that would be usually our top fragger. He would be champion. He would be the one leading the charge. Some days you just don't land your shots, and that happens. Sometimes it's just unlucky, or you're a little bit slower on the reflex. But being able to turn to your teammate and go, look, it's not working out right now. You need to just sit back, sit on your laurels. We know you're a great player. It's just not landing today. Give us the utility. We'll get you through this game. You come back in the next game and we'll get it right. But right now, Diffuser hopping over onto that Diana, and Sen, you've already called it and it's here.
Yeah, very similar take to what we saw last time. It wasn't the same site. Last time it was rather Tea and Karaoke. This time instead, they're doing a very similar take, but like the other direction, I think is the best way I can put it. They're in the same positions. They've got control over a lot of the map. They've got a lot of good crossfires built, but I don't think that Hong Kong Rebels is going to be susceptible to that. I think
I'm
Hong
talking
Kong
about
Rebels.
the Jackal, to be honest. The Jackal came out.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That's the first thing I wanted to point out. Like, Sen just went immediately for that Jackal and has decided, maybe I'll listen to the casters this time. Maybe I'll just listen to them. But no Monty.
No Monty. I'm not surprised. No Monty. It's definitely a pretty team-specific thing, but there it is. Sen finding Vipoa, the roamer. What do you know? Maybe I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and the Myra coming through as well for Ira. I do want to point that one out. That it was something that I was very surprised I hadn't taken up already, but we
if the Mira was gonna come out, this is exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah, 100%. And Vipoa taken out early, not what they wanted to see. And we do see a trade back. Rai, the Rye Bread, one of the two Sandwich Bros has picked it up. And there we go, Jetcon Rebels. Oh, another one. Burnt Turkey does fall to Schmink, though it is a 3 for 3. So starting to open up a little bit more now and starting to get a little bit more comfortable, as Doug and Jetcon also low. Have to be very, very careful now of this attack coming from red right hand. And Sen does fall, Jackal goes down, but done their job and opened it up.
When does the entry occur through VIP? That's going to be the real main question for me. If that entry occurs and it's effective, then that's going to be it. But Hong Kong Rebel seems to be aware that that's probably where Red Right Hand is going to want to make a play, because that position is just so powerful. You can't sit in there. So when you go in there and you walk through, you've got so many angles and so many different opportunities to find kills. Hong Kong is prepared for it, then, you know, they're going to get in and get into a safe position.
Yeah, and this Legion coming from Doug might be able to slow some of them down right now on the way in, and it is starting to chip away a little bit, and they don't have a lot of time left here. It has to be the plant coming through now, and here comes the push, and here comes the kills, and Rye opens it up, downs another, and that is Jetcon cleaning that one up, and it just happened, a flash in our eyes, and everyone fell.
Yeah, exactly what I said, right? They walked through VIP, they got themselves to a relatively safe spot, but they weren't watching the correct direction. The swing from the Mira finding 2, I mean, that's going to, you know, put a damper on anyone's day. Let's be real. So that final execute, not successful in this case. Good hold by Rebels. I think we have to give them credit for that, because I think Red Right Hand played that for the most part pretty well, just not quite coordinated enough on the directions that they're looking in.
Yeah, just wrong angle holds, wrong directions, but HK Rebels one away from that match point. You're expecting a closer round this time?
No, that last round.
Oh yeah, a little bit closer overall, but like a round can be as close as you want it to be. It all matters about getting that point. It just get that point on the board is all that matters. Flawless be damned. If I have to 1v4 clutch just to get that point, I'm happy with that. Even with the pressure coming onto me in those situations, as long as I get the point, win by a mile or a millimeter, Fast and Furious 1. It's a really bad quote to pull from, but it is a good quote from Toretto nonetheless. But the Kapkan coming out right now, I think that will be the biggest clutch on the HK Rebel side. I've seen that work so well in the series so far, and in previous series, Kapkan actually got 3 kills with those traps.
Starting it off. There's Diffuser finding the entry. That is what Red Right Hand needed, right? we mentioned that finding the entry is going to be really important, especially when we're talking about the fact that Rebels is just going to hit these roams. It's like they decided one wasn't enough after Sen cleared it up last time because they've got more, and those more are going to shut down any sort of aggression that was expected to be available to Red Right Hand. 4-4 already. Definitely some aggression coming out from Hong Kong as they're adapting very quickly to what Red Right Hand did during the last round. Even though they didn't lose it, they said, okay, this is what they did last time. Here's how we can do it better, how we can counter that specifically. Really just fantastic play and fantastic thinking from Hong Kong Rebels. And now I feel like Red Right Hand has found themselves once again on the back foot as they look for a way into the site. Pantry could be the weak point. Instead as well, it's going to be Burnt Turkey off the board.
Yeah, big player falling there. Getting rid of those kunai is always important, and I see the shots coming through. They seem a little bit confused about what they're trying to do. They're kind of just spraying in now, trying to find anything. They do. I feel like if they drop one more player, we'll see it, and there we go. The Fuser manages to take up Rai Rai, and push comes through Doug. The Fuser has been dropped. Jetcon has picked that one up. Jetcon picks up 2. That is a massive swing in favor of the HK Rebels, and right now Doug, Jetcon, world on their shoulders, and it doesn't matter because Doug will take another. Does go low. Will probably use this time to sit back, get ready for it, but Jetcon cleans it up, and perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Once again, a close round, and like I mentioned before, Hong Kong Rebels is making the adjustments. If they hadn't made those adjustments, that little bit of aggression early on to make sure they traded out that first death,
Yeah.
that definitely could have been a much more difficult round for Hong Kong Rebels. But instead, they put themselves on match point, more than willing to continue to adjust as they play. And Red Right Hand so far just feels like they're lagging behind. And I mean, what are they gonna do, right? I mean, you're down 3 rounds. You've
Defenders,
got a
protect
pretty
your
good
bombs
idea of what you
from
need
being
to do.
defused
You know,
by
you're finding the first pick, but even then, Hong Kong Rebels is just so prepared for
Yally,
any
yally,
kind of
yally.
situation.
You pray. You pray. You just pray for the right leans, the right times, the right shots, the right guns, the right angles, and you just put your hands together, quick prayer, mashallah, all of that, everything you can, and just Red Right Hand. Yous can do it. We know yous can bring this one back, but it all comes down to these selections. And Sen on the Lion again. Don't do this to me, please.
Sen is like 2 and
5
9
seconds.
right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't like the Lion. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I
Locate a
feel
bomb
like
and
the
defuse
Jackal
it.
was a better pick for him overall. Just, you know, just putting that out there. But as well,
I don't like the Lion King.
not
Give me
sure.
Hercules. Give me Hercules.
oh,
I don't know. I liked the Jackal. I liked that selection.
Yeah.
It opened up, and you did get that kill with the Lion. So, or with the Jackal.
the Jackal, yeah.
If it was Hyena, that would have been a better joke for Lion King. But nonetheless, we are going to see this open up, and Diffuser takes a bit of chip, but does get some information, more importantly, about where they might come from, and they will have to step back now and reassess. But Detective, we also saw that pop up on the screen. They know where they are.
And have kind of a look at the way Rebels have positioned themselves. They've kind of done the opposite of what they did last time. Last time they put more aggressive positions on the board. Right. Not as in like each position is more aggressive, but they had more in quantity in terms of aggressive positions. This time, not so much. Instead, they put themselves behind utility. They know that their utility play is spectacular, and Red Right Hand struggled with it. Beezy, in fact, already off the board. Like,
Habana fallen. That's such
yeah.
a big operator right now as well.
That really hurts. Yes, you have Owen. Owen is out of
Attackers
utility.
have recovered the lead.
It's not going to be a very easy way forward, but clearing that shield is going to be a good first step.
Drop the shield and you have an opportunity, but you have to be careful of the sword coming through as well, because those shots, they've been landing with Rai Rai, Doug, and Jetcon. Even with the rehost, 3-1, 2-1, 6-0. You gotta be scared of the sword, not just the shield right now. Oh no. I should have said nothing. I should have said nothing. That is exactly what we did not want to see.
Doug is on the
goes
ground.
well,
Located by
but
attackers.
it is another kill going over to HK Rebels, and It's scary, scary stuff now for Red Right Hand.
Why do they have 2 people on the windows is kind of what I want to know. They're looking for other entries, alternative entries that, they need to get in the building, obviously, because if they don't do it from a variety of positions, it's just going to get shut down. We saw what happened last time. 2 people from VIP just got absolutely loaded down. And if they can't make their way in from a few unpredictable angles, this could be pretty difficult. Schmink, don't shoot the ceiling. You don't need to do that. Just walk up black. Don't give them any information. Like, look at what Sen is doing. He shot a couple shots, and because of that, now Alibi knows where he is. There goes the swing. Rai finds it. Sen does manage to find Rai as well, but that's still a disadvantage. You've only got 15 seconds left on the board. You're in a 2v3. What do you do? Shots coming out. Lots of crossfires, and not a whole lot of opportunity by Boa. Finding them both. And it's all up to Rebels on the first map.
They played for way too much time there, and it just ticked away at them, and they just fell apart. Like, HK Rebels, they take map 1, and 7-3, it's still very, very good. It's still very good. And they look strong. They look fast. They look well drilled on that map, but it is just map 1. We have a lot of maps to go through. And I do want to see Red Right Hand turn this one around.
I want to see Red Right Hand, in the very least, win more attacking rounds. Obviously, Skyscraper can be pretty defender-sided. We went over that. But Red Right Hand looked so good on attack during their game versus Outlast, and it just wasn't there this time. It seems like there wasn't any commitment or confidence necessarily. Yes, you're playing Hong Kong Rebels, but at the end of the day, it's just another Siege team, and if you want that $600,
another Siege team,
you have to beat them.
It's a bit harsh.
Okay.
They could be future major winners. We don't know.
Okay, that's true. But in my opinion, no, I don't care. G2 is just another Siege team, in my opinion. At the end of the day, when you're playing a team, when you're up against someone, you can't have respect for them because you have to beat them. You have to know that you are better than them. And
you're a name tags off kind of player, aren't you?
I'm a what?
Name tags off kind of player.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just want to double check because there's this you're 2 types of players. Like, you'll either respect your opponents and go, this is what they're good at, or you turn name tags off and they're just an Iana. They're just a Thatcher. They're just this, that, and the other, and they're just another team. So you're one of those. You're one of those where name tags are off. Don't show respect. They can do everything I can do. I can do it better. That kind of way, right? Mm-hmm. It might be a viable strategy going in, but we are going to be getting over to the second map now in just a few moments. And Red Right Hand, they showed some good rounds. They showed a lot of bad rounds. But it all comes down to the drill, the map, the setup, and how much they've practiced it. In Skyscraper, not a map we've seen a lot. Very, very good map. But if we haven't seen it a lot, how practiced are they on that map? And HK Rebels look incredibly practiced on it. They done it yesterday with Bank. They really put the pressure on them with map selections. Are we going to see more of that kind of style where they're just more practiced?
I can't say for sure.
Okay.
In all honesty, I have a feeling
you're not sure how much they've played on every map.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I'm not their coach. I don't watch their scrims.
How long has Red Right Hand been together?
I think literally maybe a month.
Okay. So it might be, we were talking before,
has been around, I think there were 2 sets of 2 that had kind of been around, but.
Okay. So there's some synergy there, but they haven't built it up as a team yet. And we were talking before about their star power, and they are just a team of stars pretty much that have come together for this. Still got to our grand finals. Let's not get that twisted. But when it comes down to it, star power has to sometimes come together. And you spoke about G2 before, and it's like that G2 League of Legends roster from back in the day. They had star power and synergy all combined in one, and they won MSI. They faltered at Worlds and lost 3-0 in the final. But for a team to do that well, we could see Red Right Hand start to find their form as a unit together on maps they're picking themselves, on ones that they're more comfortable on, where they know their role, they know the drill, they know how to break in, they know how to defend. So I don't want to write them out just yet. But HK Rebels, they've put up a strong front here, and now we're going to a map that we've seen them play on before. They were shaky on it. let's see if Red Right Hand can break that mold and take this map from them immediately. If they don't, I'd nearly see a trio coming through for HK.
I honestly, I couldn't agree. I think if there's going to be any map that Red Right Hand is going to win, it's going to be this one. But we'll have
Okay.
to wait and see. We're going to take a quick break, just a few minutes. In the meantime, don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Cause girl, you know me and I adore ya. We could make peace, don't make me more ya. You may be evil, but I adore ya. So what about us? We've been chillin' laid back in a whip all black, tryna smoke some. Love the way we gotta act, hate the ways you react when we get done. Baby, just relax, I'ma keep us intact, we gon' have fun. We gon' have fun. So what about trust? Went from riding in the biz, now I'm riding with my friends, now it's all gone. Thought you'd be here till the end, no more seeing you again, you've been so wrong. I don't know where you've been, baby, we could get it in, don't move on. Move on, don't move on.
Bunny Daniel. Give us that smile, dear. Oh, yeah, Mr. Nathaniel over here, honey. Here's that. There you go. Smile.
I know you want me now. Case closed, I'm done now. Final bow, what a good performance. I don't believe it. Work on your theatrics. Now you know your place. Ain't that a shame? Tryna get face to face. I ain't got much to say. Just come and see me. Pay the damn fee. This ain't no promo. I don't do shit for free. Say you do better, you just waste my time. You better get in the back, cause there's a long line. Say you do better, but you only waste my time. Crying will never do. I put this shit on mute.
Yes, your manners are showing all day long.
I put this shit on mute. I put this shit on mute.
That message will be delivered.
He said that he want me, might just add him to the roster. Dress up in his face, that boy look good, he like a rasta. Baby, we could run it up, you could be my partner. There's no telling where we going, I know this is start. Right, because I miss you, I hate when we apart. Get that lick up with you, we can rock them anymore. Tell me that my body looking good, a piece of art. All up in that big body, we push a start. I could give you 100 reasons, rather pull up with you, lead a strip every season. So you got me in my feelings, and you fucking with the realest. Gassing up and tell me that my ass been getting.
Welcome back. It's Hong Kong Rebels versus Red Right Hand. It's Oregon. Hong Kong has historically struggled on this map, at least in this tournament. Red Right Hand is historically absolutely dominated on this map. So excited to see how that actually pans out here, because historically Hong Kong Rebels have dominated Red Right Hand. So these could get pretty interesting pretty fast.
Yeah, as we see the bans start to come through here. Ying taken away. Expecting Nook. Kind of hope it isn't Nook. Kind of want to see some Nook. I call it Knock because I'm Irish and I don't believe with letters but lines through them. That's a number. But Flores. Ooh. So we do get Nook. But Flores being taken away. A nice one. We did see that quite a bit the last time.
My biggest concern, I see a lot of times a team that's starting on attack will ban Flores because they're like, we don't need a Flores. And then they don't ban Azami, and then Azami is up, and then they're like, how do we clear all this utility? We don't have a Flores. And you have to like use your Hibana to do it, but then your Hibana also is like a hard breach, so you have to like take someone who doesn't normally play Hibana, like an entry or something, and have them be on Hibana just so they can clear Azami barricades. We're gonna see how that pans out, but in any case, yeah, there you go. Azami's on the board. Valk and Solus are off. I think those are good operators to take off, but with Azami on and no Flores, this could become difficult for Red Right Hand if Hong Kong Rebels decides to take advantage of that Azami. There it is, right off the bat.
Yeah, I don't like seeing the G2s pop up. I'm a Fnatic fanboy at heart, and I just don't like seeing it. Get that logo off my screen. But why don't anyone play Fnatic skins? They're the best team in the world. Okay, best team in the world.
Do they have a Siege team?
They did.
At like some point.
But then they decided that they wanted to go to Valorant instead, and then won it all.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yeah, like Boaster, like one of the greatest possible players ever for quality and content. Maybe not the best player in the world, but his K-pop dances send me every single time. Absolutely exceptional work by that man.
That kind of makes me think of Doki from G2.
Does he do the K-pop dances like fully studioed up with like the?
I don't think he does, but he is quite a character. He really is.
Yeah, and obviously being from League of Legends originally myself, being in that scene for so long, Fnatic have always been there, and it's just I can't leave now. Once Fnatic, always Fnatic, and this G2 just rots me to my core. But nonetheless, they have made some vast improvements with getting rid of Ocelot. We will say that real quick. But on the other side, we will break into this one real soon as we do start round one. And this map, talk me through your history of Oregon. How do you feel about it overall as a map? Is it one of your favorites, or do you just kick and scream when it gets auto-selected?
Oregon is so hard to talk about because it really is one of those things where it's like there's only so many ways you can play it. And the thing is, a lot of the times when you play it in those ways, as we see a lot of teams do, there's like 5 different strategies for everything, and everyone knows every single strategy on Oregon. And every time we see it play it in one of those ways, you get to really have a deep look and understanding of the fundies. Or sometimes you get something that's really unique and new, and then it's really cool. But that's really rare,
It's one of the most played maps then, I'm guessing. Everyone played it a lot.
It really is. It's been in the game forever. It's been played as basically a default map forever. It's a little bit on the defender side of things.
Oregon is the Dust 2.
Pretty much. Oregon is Dust 2. I think that is an accurate statement.
Okay, I see Schmink take a bit there, and the floor starts to get blown out just a little bit. Faipoa takes a big chunk there, and he's looking for something here. Doesn't quite have the angle just yet. Not seeing enough, but they've located the bomb site. It's a great start. As you said, it's the most default map, so they're probably looking for the most default plays. But Schmink going big here with that sledge, holding that floor accountable for all the problems they've had previous map and just chunking away at that. But I will say, they've weathered the initial storm. Time is ticking.
45 seconds left. Still quite a bit of utility in the hands of Hong Kong Rebels, and none left with Red Right Hand, especially now that Sen has lost their life. There's a player in the basement. Diffuser, no! Diffuser dropping, losing his life. Oh, it does manage to find one back, so that brings us to a slightly more even position, but still not a very good way to get into the building for Red Right Hand. They look like they might literally just jump into the attic window.
Faipoa here is pulling his Kanye with the flashing lights and is in trouble, but Jetcon opens up onto Own. There we see Schmink also falling, and it is a clean hold in the end. A couple of hiccups, but they've got the juice and they've got the power.
There's something I would like to say, something to be said about the fact that they brought down the radius of the grenades, so that upnades are no longer quite as powerful. There is something to be said about that, and I've seen a lot of teams literally just shy away from it because you have to have really accurate information in order to do that, and we're in a
Attackers
meta
need to
where
locate
gathering
and defuse
accurate
bombs.
information is almost detrimental to your team. That being
Okay.
said, during the last map, Hong Kong Rebels did a very fine job of bringing 2 nades and then getting 2 kills off of those 2 nades. They did that a couple of times, whereas during that last round, Red Right Hand brought 6 and didn't find a single kill. I don't know what that necessarily has to say about Hong Kong Rebels being slippery or Red Right Hand is not gathering information effectively enough, but in any case, I
10
don't
seconds to
think
go.
that play is going to be one that we see again coming out from Red Right Hand.
5 seconds
No,
to go.
there will be some changes coming in immediately from Red Right Hand, but that Nook is staying, and I feel like Sen did just kind of get picked off to begin with, so maybe it wasn't quite the pick they were looking for, but Sen going to go for the attempt number 2, but Vaipoa swapping over to that Capcan will be able to hold a little bit better. Myra also coming through, so 2 agents that I'm quite happy to see immediately, and Ayana Diffuser once again rocking that pick, has been playing that nearly every single attacking round, but right now that was close. That was very close.
Gathering intel, I mean, name of the game, Sen looking for a little bit of an entry, but with this many players on the main floor, actually clearing this out is going to be a nightmare. Red Right Hand previously able to just walk in, but Hong Kong Rebels, well, they don't stick to those default positions like you mentioned, a little bit more unpredictable than Outlast, and that's proving to be the case. Red Right Hand, I think, first off, those 6 nades is part of that, but as well, I mean, look at that firefight. Red Right
I think I
Hand
did say that.
absolutely smokes a member if they know that he's there.
I think I did say that off screen. That was during our little chat before. That one of the things I did say, as we do see the first 2 frags sort of open up there, Red Right Hand seemed to have a good read on what was kind of coming from Outlast every single time. But Outlast are a little bit more of a predictable team, and HK, they do have that kind of surprise factor, but Sen, not surprised by that one, does take out Burnt Turkey. Rai goes for the pick, doesn't get it, it wasn't clean, but the drop down was going to come through, and Sen is proving us wrong almost immediately on that second time around on the Nook, and right now, 2-man advantage, great positions, pushing their way forward here, but always have to be careful of that C4 from Doug.
Bomb
Doesn't
located
get
by
aiming
attackers.
just yet, but... Oh, the toes, not the toes.
I didn't even know that was there. Oh, that is brutal. Oh, what a way to die. Getting shot in the toes and bleeding out onto the floor. And that leaves us at a 2v3. The aggression from Rebels is going to be their saving grace if there is one. Red Right Hand has done a very good job positioning themselves around the map as in positions where they want to be, right? In ways that hopefully they're able to build some counter pressure, you know, put themselves into specific situations, gather intel. But if they can't do it, Hong Kong Rebels pushing back outwards, I think Hong Kong Rebels wins the gunfights every time.
Yeah, very, very comfortable right now, and they may be a man down, but I'd still put them in favor here. They're holding such good angles, and the time ticking away, that shove has to come through at some stage here for Red Right Hand, and there goes the camera. It will be broken. Shots go through, but they don't find enough, and there's the kill. Doug manages to pick that one up. Another peek comes through. No damage taken yet. The shotgun. Oh, does manage to take it out as a 2-for-1, and HK Rebels, you're shaking your head. What did you want them to do better there?
Goodness gracious. First thing I want to say is absolutely fantastic read by Doug. Like, that is crazy. Common Doug W. But I think Red Right Hand just gave away too much information.
Doug from Doug's Dale Dimmadome at it again. Or Doug the Bounty Hunter. There's 2 of those.
Yeah.
Doug the Bounty Hunter when he's doing well. Doug from Dimsdale Dimmadome when he's not doing so hot. That's what I'm going for.
Attackers
All right.
2 different
locate and
files.
defuse as many bombs as they can.
They have so many great names though, like, you know, like HK Rebels, I can work so much off of Burnt Turkey and Rye, like the worst Christmas sandwich you could ever possibly have. Vaipoa, he's not quite a snake, but he's getting there with those sneaky little positions. Jetcon with the retcon, you know, things like that. And then you have like Schmink. You're like, yeah. Yeah, just, guys, I don't want you to be super creative. I don't want to see Kronk in time or Kronk pull the lever. But give me something to work with sometimes, you know? Like Diffuser just confuses me because if Diffuser drops Diffuser.
10 seconds left
Yeah,
before
right.
insertion.
But in any case, right, as I was saying, Red Right Hand gives away too much info there. If they just walk in and look for the
Attackers are
players
moving
and
out to
trade each
locate a
other,
bomb and defuse
they're
it.
gonna do better every time. But they just gave Hong Kong Rebels every single opportunity to read into what Red Right Hand was going to do, and we saw Doug take beautiful advantage of that. That 2K was just beautiful. That was like excellent siege, like chef's kiss.
Absolutely perfect coming out there, and we do see the sledge coming through now, diffuser, and Vipoa. No, it's too early in the round. You can't be putting that pressure on them already. 2-0. This is not your map. This is not how you're meant to be playing this. You're meant to be losing these ones, and they just open it up time and time again.
Attackers have recovered.
It is defense side on Oregon. There is time for Red Right Hand to bring it back, but I still think that Red Right Hand is giving them too much respect, if I'm going to be frank. But Bird Turkey finding one on a diffuser. Let's be real, it's nothing new.
It's upset me, actually. It has upset me so much. Just, that was an own. Does manage to trade one back. Doug from Dougsdale Dimmadome is back, has fallen now 4-1, so still was playing exceptionally, and a big one to take away. But Vipoa 5-0 right now on this Legion is more than comfortable. Oh, Sen gets chunked, but manages to take out Jekon. Big pick, 3 for 3. A low health bar, but plenty to play with right now. And Schmink and Owen, they're not even close to breaking their way in yet. They're so slow and so behind right now, and less than a minute and a half to go, and the pressure is mounting.
This just does not feel like the same Red Right Hand that we watched play against Outlast. And I don't think it's entirely just because Hong Kong Rebels is shutting them down at every turn. There is something to be said about that. Hong Kong Rebels is doing fantastic, but I think they would be having a significantly more difficult time if Red Right Hand was just a little bit more confident. Aggression, though, this is good. Made their way down the green hall. It looks like Hong Kong Rebels is prepared for it, though. There's one going back in either direction. Hong Kong Rebels taking another round. That's 3-0. That is a full rotation.
3-0, 3 kills. Rai taking it for Hong Kong Rebels there, and coming into round 4, it's... I've seen this before. I've seen it so many times. I've seen HK Rebels go 4-0, and it starts to get a bit scary for them. So if they go 4-0, I feel like it's going to be one of those, like, the Dust, like, CSGO or Valorant ones where you get that curse. Whereas, like, the 9-3 curse from Valorant, where you're like, this is where it gets scary for HK. It's like, but they're 4-0 up. Yeah, this is their worst point. This is where everything falls apart. So if they lose this one, I would be more comfortable watching HK Rebels finish this one out. If they win this one, I'm going to be biting my nails and squeezing that penguin like there's no tomorrow.
Red Right Hand. It's going to take a lot if Hong Kong Rebels is going to lose this one. I will say that.
This is what I'd be calling. Red Right Hand. I'm the captain right now speaking to them. Throw this round, guys. Once they're 4-0, they lose. So just throw it. We'll just throw it. Just 5-man rush straight into the same window. Let them take it. Who cares? Just go for it and let the curse happen. But as you do see the setup coming through, the selections coming through, I really like Vipoa when he's on that smoke. That smoke is pivotal, I think, for HK Rebels' game plans, because they're holding them back. And once those smokes pop through in those last like minute and a half, they have to push through them. There's no adaptation available at that point in time.
3 minutes in a round to work with, and Red Right Hand so far has been taking, I would say, advantage of all 3 of those minutes.
Ooh.
Starting it off, there's a nice pick to start things off. Jetcon gets spotted out. As I was gonna say, I would say that Red Right Hand has been taking advantage of those 3 minutes, but realistically, they've just been using it and they've been unsuccessful with it. And that's all there really is to say about it. Red Right Hand has not been slapping HK Rebels the same way we saw Outlast, so maybe we should just call them natural skin colored Right Hand.
Yeah, they're not red, they're not stained with blood just yet. They're just getting covered in their own, and we don't want to see that kind of gory fest. We want to see the best siege possible coming out from both teams, but HK Rebels playing better siege right now. And look at this push coming through. Look where Jetcon is. This could go big or this could go bad.
This is exactly what I was talking about when I said not having that floor is having to deal with the Azami. This could get really difficult because look at how much utility they still have to burn through if they want to get control of Trophy, and they seem pretty intent on doing it. But not only do they have to open up all of those Kiva barricades, they've still got the Flare in pit that they're going to have to deal with. But that main wall getting opened up, that is definitely going to make things quite a bit different. Wow, this aggression is actually insane by Poa. Getting so aggressive on that breach, looking for another. It's a second and almost a third. But it goes back. And now suddenly, Red Right Hand has finally given themselves the advantage.
Yeah, that was massive from Vipoa going for those two. It does get traded back, and it will go 3 for 2 in favor of Red Right Hand right now. But Jekon has the position, has the peak, does take out the hologram. He's going to step back just a little bit. That could have been very, very clean there coming in. We do see Doug. Look at these angles that these players are able to hold. I do not have the reaction time for something like that. They are absolutely cracked. I'm holding full windows dead center of it because I need to be waiting for them to actually come through. As we do see BZ goes through and takes out 2, and they do take round 4. This looks better for Hong Kong, I'm not gonna lie. This is what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I want to see the best game that we can have.
Game 5?
Game 5, no. What I will say, because I don't have a whole lot to speak about the future. I am not an oracle, you know, but I can talk about the past. So that's what I'll do.
Like that. I like Greek. Keep it up. Greek is good.
But talking a little bit about the path, I mean that cage window position, it's so powerful. You know, I mean we saw 2 kills come out through in that case, but I mean just putting yourself there and literally cutting the entire site in half, like it's just so powerful, and the aggression onto it previously by Hong Kong Rebels is exactly what they needed, but there was just so much going on, so much sound. Hong Kong Rebels was unable to hear the Nook repel and suffered dearly for it. And that's exactly one of those things that we talk about, right? You have to try and deny as much information from Hong Kong as possible, or they will use it. The second they don't have enough information, suddenly Red Right Hand starts to look like a really formidable opponent.
I do want to... It's something I touched about at the start. The HK Rebels can constantly swap up the operators they're playing, and everyone can kind of play a little bit of everything. We now see Rai on those smokes and Vipoa swapping back over to that Kapkan. I think this is a much stronger and much more capable hold from them, but we do see Schmink on the entry, making their way in right now on that bookie, and as they take out 1 camera, some utility goes down, a little bit of information, but they're on the wrong floor for the moment. They will have to break down at some stage soon, and right now, I'm liking everything that HK Rebels is doing. I want to see more from Red Right Hand, because we can see that they are good players. They're formidable when they work together. They work together well, but I want to see them do a little bit more. I want to see, I don't know, a little bit more style maybe from them, and a little bit more class when it comes to how they're playing these picks. Oh, never mind.
Wow.
That was a DMR, right?
That was a DMR. That is such a crazy shot. But here goes the aggression, giving away a little bit of information. It's Diffuser, but he also takes a little bit of damage off by Poa, and with the information they got, Schmink is able to finish it off. So that puts us in a 4-4. There are still players on the main floor, 2 in fact. And that's going to really slow down Red Right Hand as they continue to try and clear out this map. They have control of the top floor, so actually hanging out here and meeting could be really difficult. We see Burnt Turkey falling off pretty promptly because of that exact pressure I mentioned. Not surprised to see that in any way, shape, or form. What I am a little bit surprised to see, though, is that Red Right Hand is kind of struggling to gather intel from this point forward. They're kind of walking around, looking at things, trying to figure out where are our drones, what can we do, what can we figure out, and they're taking their time. And you know, it's still a 4v4 unless you pull a real nice execute out of somewhere I should have mentioned. And you know, it's gonna be, this could be a pretty difficult round, especially, you know, you're droning.
Yeah, droning with 45 seconds left and just don't have the information to work with. It's scary, no?
Yeah. And not to mention, it's so hard for me to say this, but Red Right Hand is better when they don't drone.
Yeah, it's just play with your face. Just use your face as a drone. Just go for it. But they are going to go frags out. They're going to get some smokes coming in. This is what I was talking about. Just that force coming through. They will be able to stop them in their tracks once again. And here comes the peak. They get more information. They know 2 are there. It will be Burnt Turkey taking out 1. Owen trading back for another. It's starting to look a little scarier, but they don't have the time here. And Owen, PKBZ, they're going for the plant. The Diffuser is going down. Oh, this is going to be very, very scary. But they do manage to pull it off. And the time there, it was down to the knuckle there. Way too close.
That was really, really well done by Red Right Hand. That execute, kind of recognizing after they got that droning done, right? They could say, oh, okay, people are in this position. We've got this, XYZ utility. Dump it into specific spots to get players out of that position. They needed to get Mira out of that position, playing in that long haul right by Laundry, because that allowed the player to move up into Freezer. With that, suddenly they had that cross, and then they just had to clear out the player out of the E-box. Once there was no one there, they said, okay, we can plant. We don't need any more control. We've got players in really solid positions, and unless they go all the way around up the top floor, they have to walk through our crossfire. Really well done. They played that about as well as you possibly could have. Hong Kong Rebels have lost 2 rounds now on the defense. Suddenly this looks like a pretty average half for between these 2 teams, and Red Right Hand looks like they're starting to pick it up a little bit, shooting back. Hong Kong Rebels not quite sure what to do exactly with the aggression that Red Right Hand is suddenly kind of remembering what to do with.
I love watching back the stream itself sometimes, so I can just get another look at those last. And it was 4 versus 4 at 40 seconds. They had 40 seconds to execute on that, and as you said, it was really well played by Red Right Hand. And I feel like it's been twice now. For the 2 rounds the Red Right Hand won, it came down to those last 40 seconds worth of time, where they really kind of burnt through all the gas they had. They used everything possible, and it worked for them. And watching it back, it goes down to 20 seconds, still 4 versus 4. And then 15 seconds, you gotta go now. And it just begins. And that might just be the plan. But for my sake especially, please do it earlier. Because that is way, way too close to be calling at 5 seconds to go.
Yeah, I do understand that, but Siege is such a game that, like, whichever team is the most comfortable with the least amount of time on the board is going to be prevalent almost every time. This time, no, it's Sen. Actually starting us off with the opening pick. Doing a bit better on this map than he did last time, already with twice as many kills over the whole map. You have to give him some credit there. Burnt Turkey finding BZ. That's going to be tough, and this super extended roam. Not going to be super easy for Rebels to keep a hold on, unless they keep doing things like that. Jetcon finds Schmink. That's going to be one of your 2 Heartbreach operators off the right team. Heartbreach. No Heartbreach left, and suddenly I no longer think this is possible for Red Right Hand unless they get to the site right now. Oh gosh, hello.
Burnt Turkey going on a mad one there, but Sen manages to trade it back, more importantly. 3 versus 1, Diffuser has been dropped, and they've got it back. Good start. It just has to be clean from here. It is all down to Sen here to bring it back to an even before they get the flip. He managed to get that. Triple kill. Going for it. He doesn't quite have it just yet, and okay, he's swinging back and forth. This is the panic. Really starting to get scared here. Knows something is going on here. Doesn't know anyone's there. The shot's coming through. They have so much information to work with. Doesn't have the health, and yeah, shot in the back. Not what we wanted to see, but 4-2 now for HK, and going on to this attacking side. I did say I thought maybe they could take this one. I thought, regardless of how shaky they were against Silent Sins, I think they have it.
There is no way to win that crossfire.
No.
It is not possible. But I'm happy to see that Sen is shooting back again. Looking a little bit more like he did against Outlast. That was a very good round from him. But I think the aggression and just like the raw staying power from Hong Kong Rebels, it's good. I think the only real thing you could do against that, if they're gonna do a real extended roam like that and just completely, just completely dominate that top floor, hit a bunker rush. I mean, obviously they didn't know the
Attackers
round was going to go that way
location of the bomb.
previously, but a bunker rush there would have been very effective. And that's kind of one of the ways, kind of how we have to leave it there.
10 seconds to insertion.
Okay, right. I'm looking at the setup from Red Right Hand, and I can see some gaps. I can see some changes compared to what HK Rebels have done previously, but the gaps that I'm seeing, I don't think they're exploitable. I'm just a little bit scared here for Red Right Hand. I don't think they're as prepared as I thought they would be, considering this is their map. I thought they would have a little bit more in terms of, oh, never mind, there's some poke coming through. Jetcon just runs at them and manages to fall almost immediately. That was an interesting start to that one for sure.
I like this aggression. This looks a little bit more like the Red Right Hand that we saw before. Hong Kong Rebels was not prepared for it this round. They likely will be next round, but in the meantime, as long as they can trade this down, they're going to be putting themselves in a pretty healthy spot. Sen with the second. There we go. Sen's now 8-5. He's waking up a little bit. First map, not his, but this one, definitely a little bit different. Aggression from Rai not quite going to work out. He doesn't switch off the skeleton key. Can't find the pick, but there is the push. Completely just decimated by BZ. No chance. And now it's all up to Rai in the 1v5. This, I mean, if anyone could do it, it's Rai. It's not likely.
It's not likely, but we don't like to count them out just yet. As he is going around a corner, he will down one. Stays on full health, more importantly, but will immediately get peeked out. And it was starting to look good. He had the health, but as soon as the collapse came in, it was going to be impossible from there with two people staring you down. It is very tough, but we go 4-3. The start of that round went very, very strange for me. I just don't see why the rush came through so early from Jetcon and just immediately being taken out. So a little bit more caution should come true from HK now on this side.
Yeah, I think
Attackers
this
need to
caution
locate
is going
and
to be
defuse
key
bomb.
for Hong Kong Rebels. They're more than capable of playing with that. If they can get drones into positions that give them information without giving away their own positions, maybe they have a little bit better of a chance. But Red Right Hand is probably going to find your position anyway. We saw a lot of the time with Red Right Hand, they just kind of, like, they got just a little bit of intel and then just were so aggressive with their face peeks that they could look with their physical eyes or their ears and figure out pretty much exactly where each player was at any given point in time. And we saw them just collapse on Hong Kong Rebels, almost as if they were the attackers. I mean, that is
5 seconds left.
really aggressive play, really wild. This is also pretty wild, though. The rotate on top
Attackers
white
must locate and defuse a
is
bomb.
really susceptible to a breach rush. I don't think we're going to see a breach rush, given the fact that we don't have a thermite, but it is something that most strategists for Rainbow Six don't recommend. They recommend just leaving that at head holes and calling it a day.
Yeah, maybe so, but Ash has some climbing to be doing there, as we do see Vipoa head up to that roof and the camera coming through. Spots out a lot of information there, a lot of players, and Burn Turkey, his camera work is exceptional. No way. Oh my god, he nearly gets around them as well and still keeps going.
That was, yeah. Yeah, no, the camera work was exceptional. I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay. Sieging. Getting through. Definitely a game of Siege, and it could really open up here for them if they can just get that opening pick. I believe any team that gets the opening pick, that's the most important aspect of this game, that first blood, that entry. But right now, I'm liking it already. A lot more caution coming out from the side of HK Rebels. Taking their time here. Ayana on the far side, Doug. Probably going to look for some sort of hologram information. Vipoa opens it. And Jetcon gets another. No.
I was about to say, this doesn't look very good for Rebels at all, but then they just walked in and killed everyone. Like, let's be clear. They had no drones on the board. Well, I say no. They had 3 drones on the board. They couldn't walk through the breach. I am not really even sure what happened, but apparently Hong Kong Rebels happened. They just started getting kills, and then the second they clear one player out of one position, it all just collapsed. Almost like I call them penguin defenses, because Penguin, the ex-Parabellum player or the ex-Aqualix player, had a tendency to build defenses where when something when someone dies, the entire defense kind of collapsed like dominoes. That's kind of what we saw there, but
Attackers need
it
to
wasn't
locate and defuse as
necessarily
many
that
bombs as they can.
it was naturally going to collapse. It was really just Hong Kong Rebels pressing the issue, not letting Red Right Hand have any moment to
Attackers have
regroup
located
and
a
start
bomb.
looking for trades.
There was no chance for a rotate coming in there. It was just one by one by one by one
Yeah.
by one immediately, and that's caution into the trigger. They just went for it immediately, and that is just a great discipline to come out from a team. And we see the changes coming through for HK Rebels now. Bucky looks like it's going to come through IQ, I believe. Diana,
10
Ace.
seconds left before
Uh,
insertion.
I'm kind of liking this one already. I'm not seeing anything
5
on the
seconds
side of Red
remaining.
Right Hand. Bar the kunai. I do like the kunai pick up by BZ. Playing very, very well right now, but there's nothing that stands out to me that says, yeah, I'm able to stop this one.
I will say there is something that I think they're doing well, a good decision they're making. That is they've brought a lot of info denial between both the Mute and the Mozzie, both being used specifically for intel denial. This could make things a little bit more difficult for Hong Kong Rebels as they go and they look to try and get their drones into places to actually gather information. Hong Kong Rebels has been thriving off the information game. They've been so effective at gathering it, and it's outside of, you know, creative things like this where Doug sends his drone in through that window and then figures out where Mozzie is. Yeah, Mozzie doesn't survive that. Mozzie's dead. Like,
Mozzie's
yes,
one
Red Right
thing.
Hand.
Mozzie's one thing to do is stop drones from coming in, and just gets spotted by a drone and dies.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That was Hong Kong. This is just such a fantastic example of how flexible Hong Kong Rebels are.
It's so disrespectful as well when Mozzie dies like that, but it's not over yet. 3 for 3 as Schmink manages to open it up a little bit there as well and own, so it's not over yet. I know we were laughing and memeing there, but they still have the opportunity. The diffuser has dropped, the diffuser has taken, that's going to get confusing. The diffuser has taken out the diffuser, and yeah, it's still all to play for here. HK Rebels, great start, bad mid. Let's see if they can finish it in the late.
2-3, Hong Kong Rebels have been in this position before, albeit it was on defense. They still have plenty of opportunity to gather information. I mean, they've got Niana in the board, and Niana still has a drone being currently used. And Bipo as well has a drone, so if they can get those in positions where the dead members of their team can look at them and say, okay, listen, person here, right, go. Then maybe they do have an opportunity here. I think Hong Kong Rebels, with how effective they've been at gathering information, and clearly, I mean, looking at this, that's kind of their end game right now. They can build something. Here it goes.
Yeah, Vipoa, the quick drop down, nothing but speed here, and it's not going to work out for them just yet. They do manage to get the diffuser, important, but
Diffuser has been dropped.
diffuser does end up taking 2 more. A little bit of disrespect shown there at the end, not something you want to see, but we go into round 10, and Red Right Hand starting to pick up the rounds, starting to pick up the pace here.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, if there was going to be any map that Red Right Hand is going to win, it's going to be this one. Hong Kong Rebels still in the lead for the time being, but Red Right Hand is on defense. Oh. Did you see what I saw?
Attackers need to locate.
I
and
don't
defuse
want
as
to
many
see what you
bombs
saw.
as they can.
I don't.
Yeah, look at Rai Rai.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I'm not there for it. No. Everything could go. Oh,
I think we know
Jackson?
what's happening. I think we know what's about to happen.
Jackson?
We all know.
No way Jackcon's going to swap the Finka.
Okay, the Finka actually could be detrimental though, because remember, when you're Finka stimmed, you breathe faster, and so if you walk through smoke, you die very, very fast, almost as if you're on fire. That could actually be a little bit detrimental. We'll see. In the meantime, if it doesnn't work, there's going to be plenty of information given that Owen has brought Echo. He's shown that he's a very effective player in terms of gathering information with those Echo drones. But yeah.
Yeah, we've got a
Not
blitz.
completely through here.
Finka. Ash.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, this is just looking a bit sketchy. Amaru as well. Yeah, Jackon immediately falls there. They're trying to get through that shield, but they can't. Doug does manage to turn that one back around. Rai, low on health. Has to be scared now, but they do take a man advantage with this haberdashery operator squad. And look, the camera work again. Oh, I don't know what to say. The cameras coming out from HK have been clutch and clean, and Burnt Turkey does take out Owen as well. Oh, Doug, no, that's not allowed. You can't just put a shotgun in someone's eyes, and Schmink falls as well. That should not have worked.
That was incredible. I mean, every single piece of that was just like clean. We saw what was going to happen, and you know, you see that and you're like, oh no, they're going to bunker rush. They're going to rush straight through the site. That's not what they did. They put 3 people in bunker, that's for sure. And they brought a shotgun on attack, which is not something that's very common. That's also for sure. But they go in through bunker and they only take bunker and pillar. They don't take beyond that, and then they stop and they gather information. And then they have a player going down the tower stairs, and they have a player going down the main stairs as well to provide counter pressure. And suddenly you're no longer relying on the fact that you're just winning gunfights, but you're relying on the fact that everyone turns their attention to bunker the second they hear a blitz run through there. And it paid off, right?
Yeah.
Not only did Hong Kong Rebels completely distract from the real threat, which was coming down the main stairs. I believe they got 2 kills off of that. But then we're able to gather up the rest of the information to really cleanly finish off the round. I mean,
10 seconds remaining.
I just bravo. I know I keep saying this, but Hong Kong is just, they look so good, and that's not to diminish from Hong Kong or from Red Right Hand either, but when Hong Kong Rebels decides to do something well, they do it well.
Yeah, it's that planning, but more importantly, the execution on that, and they went a little bit more bog standard here. They're pulling back into the Ash, the Sledge, the Ace. Amaru's still coming through. Still an interesting take in Zofia, I believe, as well. So, yeah, a little more standard, a little bit stronger, I think, and Ipoa just gets chunked out for the laugh. Just takes a bad peek there, does get chunked out, but if you can open with a kill like that, you could do a lot of work, but right now, here we go. Rai is also going to go for that charge in. Jetcon has to be careful with those lesions coming through, and I'm not sure what to say for plan-wise for Red Right Hand. I think really the Fuser has to step up here on that Warden.
I'm going to agree with that assessment, but I think beyond that, I mean, if we look at what is available in terms of Echo drones, I don't know where they are, if they're up. I just realized that there's not actually a good way to look at that. But in any case, if Red Right Hand is able to get the information with the Echo drones, like we've seen them do before, particularly on this map, then maybe they have a chance here. But they're so spread out. And Hong Kong Rebels is more than prepared for anyone to start making any sort of counter pressure. This could come down to the last few seconds. Diffuser, first player off.
Yeah, Burnt Turkey opens it up, and that really puts them in a great position to clean and finish all of this. He's not in a great position right now. But yeah, the rest of the team has to try and rotate around and try, I guess, dig Schmink out, but will get sprayed through the floor. The worst feeling when it comes to Siege is when the bullets are coming from below you. And right now, looking around, oh, okay, that didn't quite go down the stairs. I think that's what the plan originally was, but as we do look around the rest right now, with the camera work being so good, Everbind Sen does manage to take out Burnt Turkey. I was going to say maybe a Vigil here might be a little bit spicy, but as we do see the push coming through and lying down right there. Oh, he does manage to get taken out by Sen. Too much movement, not enough aim. Sen does manage to survive that one as well. More importantly, Schmink has also gotten out of that position, and I can see that face. You are very confused.
Yeah, I have no clue how he got out of there. Schmink did his job to a T. He stood in armory, wasted an ungodly amount of time, and made it back to site before the execute. I mean, honestly, what more could you ask for? Doug, though, getting ready to answer back, looking to get aggressive here, because after all, they've only got 10 seconds left on the round. Beautiful shot by Doug, finds the second, and that's huge. They could grab the diffuser, they could plant, but it's going to be Doug on the cover. He's got to find 2 more, looks for 1, can't find it. That is Lesion finding the kill, and Rebels are unable to stick the plant after Doug dies. Red Right Hand does take another round, and what, does that put us at 5-5? No, 6-5. Very close to going to overtime here.
Very close to going to overtime. We have one more round in us before that, and are we going to see another one of those mad kind of operator builds coming through? Or are we going to see something more bog standard coming out? But right now, Burnt Turkey and Vipoa and Doug, 10 kills apiece. Those three players, 30 kills. They have to go big here. And we do see a Thatcher coming out, actually.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
I
don't know. I don't know. If Rai can do it, Rai can do it.
Okay. There is something to be said about the fact that Thatcher has fantastic weapons. Both the AR-33 and the L-85 are just good. So it's not crazy to see Thatcher coming out. Seeing a Nomad come out instead also is not crazy. I kind of like the Thatcher a little bit more, if I'm going to be entirely honest. I think Thatcher has a lot of efficacy beyond just opening up walls, which, A, would be very good in this situation if you want to go for something like a garage push. But also not necessary.
5 seconds left.
Simply for the fact that there's only so many walls you need to open. But also kind of looking at this, like,
to defuse a bomb.
how are they planning on getting utility off of walls here?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like the Nomad, though. I like the Nomad pick. But
Yeah, I like the Nomad pick given the aggression of Red Right Hand, but...
yeah, no, this is a very, very strange setup here, and we'll see how they play it. That's the glory of seeing the picks before and then getting to actually watch the game. You really get to see it from the best kind of angles here, so never mind. There's not much to be seen there, as just Jetcon just guns down Owen, and Beezy does manage to trade it back, but that's such a big pickup for them early. That's just going to open up everything for them. If I look at the push. That's so illegal. It's so illegal.
Just scrappy plays, exactly what they needed. Rebels have figured out that Red Right Hand is able to start predicting a little bit more of what Rebels wants to do, and so Rebels have decided that if they can just like do things, Red Right Hand won't really know what they're doing, right? That old adage, if we don't know what we're doing, our enemies won't know what we're doing, right? So just walking in, I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, well played. Yes, they have put themselves at a, I'll say, slight disadvantage given they don't have the diffuser down, but with the positioning, it's definitely going to go down, and Rebels looks like they have a good opportunity, but on the main stairs is what's really going to decide. There's one. Sen looking for the second. Not gonna happen. Hong Kong Rebels take map 2, and they only need one more to be your Game Road Major champions. Red Right Hand failing on the one map. I was expecting them to win.
Yeah, so that was the map you were expecting them to win on. I said that there's a chance they can take this one, with the Silent Sins being a very, very good team as well. It did end up going a little bit closer, but they did edge it out, and that's what's most important, getting those points on the scoreboard. And Doug 13-7 at the end of that, and really showing up as a star there for them. So what can you say now about it? You have to kind of look at this through the lens of, let's say, we'll go through Red Right Hand. They have a mountain to climb now.
Yeah, Red Right Hand is doing a good job. Let's be clear about that. They are playing well. They're doing a good job. They're doing a very good job of adjusting. But Hong Kong is just doing it better. Hong Kong is just, they have every play style under their belt. They're comfortable with doing anything, and they can switch it up at a moment's notice. Yeah, Blitz. Bringing a Blitz, running in through bunker, and then stopping beyond that is wild. You know, you don't see that every day. You know, it just, Hong Kong Rebels is just so prepared to adjust that it doesn't matter if Red Right Hand adjusts. They just have to be the best at what Red Right Hand does, and Hong Kong Rebels knows how to get through that.
Yeah, and we will.
The bottom line.
We will cut to a short break, and we will be back in just a few moments to get back into map number 3 here, because we have a lot to break down in the background, and I feel like we're going to say some unfavorable things, and we'll leave them off the stream for now, because we really need to see the team step up to get to that map 5. But right now, HK, they have the advantage. Let's see if they can finish this one up nice and clean. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and welcome back. Some goofy little technical issues, but don't worry about it. The game goes on and we can continue to cast. It's HK Rebels versus Red Right Hand, and we make our way to Chalet. I did say, Sater, that there is a possibility that Red Right Hand actually pulls something off here. Like I mentioned, their playstyle has a tendency to kind of line up with the playstyle that is effective on Chalet. So it's possible that Red Right Hand pulls something off, but also HKR is so well versed. I mean, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, we have Ying taken away immediately. I don't think Nook done well enough for it to warrant another one. I think maybe Flores might be the better option here from Red Right Hand, but you never know what's going through their mind. Then there might be a big game of chess going on, but I am right, so that's all that matters. That's prediction number 1 for me. So over to yourself. What do you think on the Fender side? Myra will be taken away, or will it left open again?
I think Mira's going to be left open. I don't think Mira's generally that powerful on this map, if I'm going to be entirely honest. I'm think it's more likely to see things like Solus, Valkyrie, Pulse. Well, not Pulse, but Solus and Valkyrie.
Solus, yeah, just very, very high on the ban rates on that Defender side. And now we have to have a look at the last one. I kind of just want to see Myra banned. I think it's very, very strong, regardless of map. I just think it's a very, very good pickup. But as you come down to the last seconds, it will be a S2 for 2. I'm getting good at this.
You are getting good at this. Wow, I'm impressed.
So what is the idea now coming in? What are we looking for and what do we need coming out? And Nook immediately taken. Ash looks like it will be taken too. Frost, Azami, Jaeger. Do like to see the Jaeger, don't like to see that G-Do. Valkyrie was not banned away this time. It will be taken immediately, and Warden as well. So not too much spice. I'd give it like the first chicken wing on Hot Ones kind of level, you know?
Yeah, just a little bit of spice.
A tingle.
I do like some spice though. One single spice. But in any case, right, it's gonna be starting off dining and kitchen. I would have to double check the stats, but if I remember correctly, this was actually the highest rated in terms of Defender play at SI.
Okay.
At least on this map.
5 seconds left.
At the Invitational, it was the highest. Okay.
Yeah.
These players know what they're doing
Locate
then.
a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, I like I said, I'd have to double check the stats. I don't quote me on that, but it's either this map or bar, but very aggressive starting it off. JetCon right by the main door, takes one little tip of damage, but not enough to really make a difference. So we're going to move on from that engagement and look at where else Red Right Hand is looking to enter into the building.
Yeah, it's cautious, hesitant, chips, damage left and right. User now doing their best here to try to get something going. Have the angle, just need to shoot, but no. Rai opens it up. Not the start we wanted to see from Red Right Hand. You've had a lot of hope for them in the past, but Rai has something to say about that one immediately into this round, and a lot of money on the line here. They need to be sure about where they're going.
A lot of money on the line indeed.
Drone active.
With the aggression. Aggression is important. I mean, aggression is kind of a theme that we've mentioned because Red Right Hand, when they get aggressive, they do stuff like that. Send with a beautiful shot. Evening it back up, and that gives them as well a lot of control onto that main floor. Potentially enough to make an execute. There is still a player in piano that could be a nuisance, and right there it is. The nuisance is confirmed. Vipoa gets a pick onto Sen. Now Owen with a good entry, looking to try and find something back.
A crab walk coming out there, keeping them alive for a little while longer, but not too long. Burnt Turkey does fall 3 for 3 now. It's getting closer, and they're starting to get something going, but Breezy right now, spraying through, not finding their man. Schmink. You can see they're very, very scared right now, and they're just spraying every single time there's an angle open, and it just means that maybe HK Rebels might be in the heads of Red Right Hand right now.
I think that's a good spot to be, though, because, I mean, let's be real, right? HK Rebels is already more than aware that Red Right Hand is getting aggressive and being in positions, right? Being in specific positions where, you know, it's Shelly. There's not that many big positions to be in. You're not going to be super particular. And with the way that they go through, they're clearing out everything, and it doesn't let HK Rebels get any sort of a jump on Red Right Hand, except for right now. Here comes the player up solar, and it's not going to happen. Schmink shuts down that little bit of a play, and it's all up to the 2 remaining players of Rebels to try and win this defensive round.
And there's ever 2 players to do it, Doug from Dimsdale Dimmadome or Doug the Bounty Hunter. We will see what happens here as the drops come through. Jetcon starts to hear something and does get the first one, does take a bit of damage for it, but Owen picks up his double. Exactly what was needed, but Jetcon nearly gets the 3k, nearly cleans it up for them, but the round will go to Red Right Hand, and a good start, but they need to keep this pressure up.
That is wild. Getting that wall bang just off of sound is wild. That is... I play Siege. I like to think that I'm kind of good at this game, but that is just wild. That is seriously impressive. I mean, that round was also seriously impressive. It was the aggression that was needed to actually clear the players out of that top 4. Red Right Hand, I think, did a very good job on that round, and it kind of speaks to what I said before. They're good at positioning themselves all over the map and getting aggressive from all over the map, and Hong Kong Rebels, unless they're able to start winning some firefights very handily, could spell some difficulty for them.
Yeah, and we do see some changes coming through. We do see Beezy going towards that ace, and Dokkaebi, maybe? Please go for the Dokkaebi here. Anyone? No? I like the Lions coming back out. Don't do it to me, Schmink. That's PTSD right there from Sen playing it previously. Twice in a row, I think he got killed first on entry. But we'll see if Schmink can do it a little bit better, see if that Lion can roar. But the setup coming through from HK Rebels, Frost, I think, is a really, really key pickup here for them, and the Doctor is in the house.
Where is the Doctor playing is my question, because I've seen Doc be very effective, obviously, in the same spot. His Sims are so powerful now that he can literally just save himself from dying with the power that Anakin sought. But not so much in other positions. Yes, he's got a good gun. He's shooting off, but I don't know, it's interesting to me. Just that whole Doc pick in general.
Yes, we do see more setup coming through and adaptation for HK Rebels, and I think that was one of their strong points we talked about a lot. They adapt a lot quicker than most teams, and that can be the difference between being a champion, being a 2-time champion, and looking to be a 3-time champion.
It wouldn't only be 3-time champion. It would be winner of the first major qual, winner of the second major qual, and then winner of the major. That would be crazy.
Well, it looks like that way so far with a 2-map advantage and plenty of time, but the camera work coming out from Red Right Hand, it's starting to get better here. They're starting to get more information, but it's their slow take right now. They're trying to break their way in, but right now, 1.5 minutes left on the clock, and HK Rebels, they've weathered the early storm, but when will the eye open and when will they get safe here?
Red Right Hand is looking for literally anything. They've got players all over, and if one player of Hong Kong Rebels steps a little bit too far into the light, suddenly Red Right Hand is going to have plenty of vision, and it's going to be, you know, a good pick for Red Right Hand, and that could be the collapse of everything, because here we go. Here comes the entrance. Doug going to be the first player down. Jetcon looking for another, but he's not going to find it. There it is, the collapse. Another player down for HK Rebels. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Red Right Hand, after positioning themselves all over the map, just walked in. No one was watching West Main, and that becomes the downfall. The key position on that site, and no one was watching it except Doug, who was eliminated very early on in that little scuffle, that little scrap that ended up giving that round to Red Right Hand.
Too many angles, too many members, too many bullets, and just Red Right Hand, they pull the trigger. They get everything they need and they get out. So what can we really say for HK Rebels there? They just fell apart. They just weren't watching where they needed to watch, and I want to see a bit more work coming in from them, and that Kapkan, that might be it. That might be what I'm looking for. And Vipoa, yeah, bringing the gas mask back and is looking to choke them out here a little bit on that attack.
I like Rebels bringing the Kapkan. I like it. Not much else to say. We've mentioned it before. I think it's good for them to bring Kapkan.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, Kapkan is one of the most banned operators in Ranked for a reason. And Red
5
Right
seconds
Hand
left before
is
insertion.
rather successful when they gather just enough information to start playing it
Attackers
like
are
it's
moving out to locate a bomb and
You know.
defuse it.
So bringing the Kapkan is very, I can imagine, is going to turn out to be rather effective. Hong Kong Rebels, though, more than anything else, like we can talk about smart strategy and everything, but unless they really start shooting back fast, Red Right Hand is going to take the advantage, or going to take even more of an advantage on this map.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, here we go now, and this is once again, I think it really comes down to how Red Right Hand play this, because they are on the back foot. They have to keep the vibes and the mental up from start to finish here, and going 2-0, good start, but I think I need to see them really annihilate this map and really make it work. But Sen taking a big chunk there, big explosion, and bullets flying all around that doorway. Bone setting up here, looking for something, but I honestly think HK Rebels, they need one big round, and I think it'll start to swing back, but Red High Ran needs to choke them out every single time here and not give them the opportunity to get some breathing space and keep that pressure on at all times. Schmink here, looking an interesting angle as he does get shotgunned down by Vipoa, and Vipoa looking for 2, does get 2 as well, and that's what I mean, give them breathing space and they will just take it away immediately. Sen returns the kill.
Yeah, I mean, good, and now making his way down the black stairs. He's in a real position to do some damage, be detrimental to Hong Kong Rebels, but he gets spotted out, looking for this kill, gets aggressive, knows that a player moved to con, but there's going to be another one, so he's got to make his way into blue. For the aggressive, can't quite make it all the way through, though. Pyrai goes down. One more player left is BZ, can't do it. Vipoa to clean it up, and Hong Kong finally puts a round on the board.
That's a 4K he got, right?
I think so.
Like, if there's anyone to do it, Vipoa has to just turn around and just say, no, we have to stop this now. Guys, let's get back to playing Siege. The rest of his team weren't doing it, but he was. And just cleans it out, start to finish. Perfect play there from Vipoa. And this is what I mean. It's just like you have to keep that momentum going, and Red Right Hand will be set back a little bit there. Got to keep an eye on them from here. And
Attackers need to locate and defuse the bomb.
what can you say, really? When it comes to the mental, there's so many things that go through players' minds when they're playing these games, and with so much on the line, I feel like HK Rebels have done this before. They've obviously beaten people in grand finals, and I think the main thing for me now for the likes of Red Right Hand is they've got to start thinking like champions. They've got to get into that mindset really, really quickly here.
I like that way that you put it. You have to get into the mindset of champions, right? You have to sit down and be like, listen, we have to be the best. Like, you don't win a grand finals unless you are the best. And Red Right Hand has proved that they definitely have the gun skill to go toe-to-toe with Hong Kong Rebels. We said earlier on in the first map especially that Rebels had mechanical skill over Red Right Hand. Maybe it's because Red Right Hand took a minute to warm up. Because if you look at the board now, especially during that last map, Sen and Diffuser started actually picking it up. They were, I think, together like 4 and 19 or something on the first map. Don't quote me on that, but it was not a good scoreline. On the second one, both of them were positive, nearly 2.0. So very big difference, and if they can keep that rolling, Hong Kong Rebels might suddenly start to have a little bit of an issue.
I did like the way you said that warmed up.
Yeah.
It was one of those things I said a lot about HK Rebels when I was watching them, is that they were a very fast team to warm up. It feels like every single map they always started hot. It was like they never had a cold start. This is their cold start right now, and the bounce back is the most important thing. Is Rai is just getting sprayed through walls, but just turns with that shotgun. And then on the other side, they're just cleaning them up left, right, and center. And 4 versus 2, They do have full health, they do have abilities, they do have utilities, but they're not even in the building yet.
They're in a 2v4 and they're not in the building.
Yeah, just...
I was giving them so much praise a second ago, and here I am saying that maybe it's not actually warranted. I mean, like you mentioned, you got to get in the mindset of champions, and not getting into the building is not indicative of a championship winning mindset. They have made it in, though. I think that's a very good step in the right direction, as they continue to just hope and look for a player somewhere, anything, any pick to give them an advantage, because translating the pressure from this main floor up is going to be next to impossible.
Yeah, but it will attempt it nonetheless, Schmink. 55 seconds left, and they have so many angles to cover, and there's so many wrap positions coming out as well. Schmink has to be careful on the stairs. Multiple members aiming in that direction. They are breaking down that wall. Look at the angle. He won't be able to clear it because someone else is watching for it. Jetcon takes one. It will be BZ here. Manages to take another, but it is a mountain to climb when you know there's 3 people and you know the information that they know, and they know where you are, and the first spray comes through, the peak comes through, goes low, gets taken out. HK Rebels, they take round 4 and they even it up. They started cold, but they're warming up every single round here, and it's just going to get hotter and hotter.
Definitely an adjustment made to Red Right Hand style of play. Red Right Hand, the way that they play with players all over the place, I mean, it's so hard to do on Chalet, which is just a kind of a skinny map, if you will. You know, you can put players outside. Yes, I gave them, you know, a little bit of a hard time for being outside with only 2 members left, but you can do a lot of pressure from outside. You can do a lot of damage from outside on this map because it's so skinny. And Red Right Hand, during those first 2 rounds, did do a lot of damage from outside before they walked in, you know, before they put all their players inside the map. This time, though, HK Rebels said, we're not going to let you push us out of our positions. We're going to stay here, and we're going to shoot back. And because of that, Red Right Hand's crosses that they have set up, these positions that they have that normally wouldn't allow Hong Kong Rebels the flexibility of movement, they're doing nothing. And that's what leads to those situations where you have 2 players still outside who are holding crosses and realize, oh, our entire push died. Now what do we do? Because your only option is walking up the solar stairs. And I'm going to tell you right now, as we just saw, that's not a very good option.
No. I'm going to trust your call on that one. Yeah, it's just... I don't want to harp on too much about HK Rebels' adaptability. But whenever they adapt, it just looks like the other team is so caught off guard. And Red Right Hand, they have to find a way of breaking into that kind of mindset of adaptability and changing the way they do things just as fast. But I do like the way they're kind of poking out the top floor a little bit more here and trying to give them some ideas about where they should be going. But right now, I think all the cards are in HK Rebels' hand, and they just have to play them right.
Yeah, still 5-5 with 2 minutes left. I mean, not a bad situation at all, but having nearly 0 control over the top floor is going to definitely hurt. Nade is going to try and come out and find that dock.
Grenade out!
But instead, the dock is going to be finding Vipoa. Look to get aggressive, but with the trade coming out, ultimately find ourselves with the advantage towards the Red Right Hand. And a plant going down. Diffuser is in the site. On Diffuser, there's one pick. Diffuser doesn't know that it's coming for him. It's the Shark Rai Rai. Finds the second, and suddenly we're back in an HKR advantage.
Yeah, and they were defusing. They didn't even turn around in time, and they don't even get it down. That's the most important thing. They know the diffuser is there. They can just hold their angles now, and Red Right Hand, they have to think on their toes now. We do see Schmink opening it up. That's a perfect start, but with 2 members standing, Rai is low. BZ, you've got to go fast. I feel like speed is of the essence here. 120, 115. Time is ticking away, and success from Schmink there at least.
You know that one of these players is going to be in stock, but with a player in stock and a player in games, this is going to be incredibly difficult to penetrate into. But you kind of know where they are. But it seems to me with that Brava drone going around, picking up Util, they are expecting one of these players to be off the site. They don't think that he's actually in the site there from what it seems like. Instead, they're trying to set up as much utility that they can And with BZ finally looking for some information, here comes the pickle swing. Gonna happen, but there's a player in mud. Is he aware? He is. Doug finds 2. An aggressive play that, in my opinion, is completely unnecessary, but he just seems to know. He knows exactly where they are, and he knows that he could win. And there it is, HKR giving themselves the advantage for the first time on the map.
Doug the bounty hunter.
Doug the bounty hunter. He just
went for it. Went for it. Like, insane. Absolutely insane just to go 2v2. They haven't moved in a while. Do you know what? I'm going to check them with my face. And it just works. It just works for him. And I've seen him do it time and time again. He just pulls it out of nowhere. And from the start of the game, he hasn't been doing too well. He was 1-3 before that big swing, but equalized his KDA now. Very good position. And HK, they have a roster they're against right now is stars playing on a team. A little bit of synergy here and there. HK Rebels are a synergized team that have amazing stars as well. Like, how do you break that down as red right hand?
Get better.
Get better. Skill diff.
Skill diff.
Skill diff. Yeah, I have.
I
you
mean,
know what? Fair.
Yeah, if I'm gonna be entirely honest, like skill diff, yes, but you know,
Attackers are moving out.
That's kind of a general statement. More specifically, so much of it is just calling and developing a good calling structure. Red Right Hand, obviously their calling structure worked pretty well up until this point, but you know, that's only up until this point. You're in the championships, baby, and you have to be the best if you want to win. Right now, their calling structure just doesn't appear to be the best. I don't know if it's specifically knowledge of the game or if it's specifically calling out that knowledge. But in any case, something isn't clicking somewhere, and it's causing them a lot of issues.
More importantly, though, it's if he had actually shot that, he might have actually got a headshot there. That was a strange one. But yeah, I'm looking more and more towards the synergy that they need to be able to pull out together. But the Fuser does manage to open up the round. That's very, very big. Takes out Rai on that cap can, and a lot of utility gone on the side of HK. But Ipoa wasn't really checking his angles before trying to throw out some utility. They're starting to get that aggressive push, and they're starting to go forward with it. Arn Turkey does take out Sen, more importantly, and Ash falls. Jetcon gets taken out by Own, and it's all falling apart right now for HK. It's all down to Doug, and Doug does not have the bounty hunter in him this game, and they do take round 6, and we'll see a swap.
You know, I pride myself on watching a team, seeing what they do, figuring out how they did it, what went well, what went poorly. How do I put this? It went so fast. And really, the only thing I can say about that is Red Right Hand shot better. And there's so many times right now in this matchup where Red Right Hand wins because they shoot better. Then HKR just remembers, oh, we know how to play the game better. And then they play the game better. Sometimes Red Right Hand manages to sneak their way in, and that's what's giving us this back and forth. But is that going to be a permanent solution? No. Rebels has every opportunity to adapt, and they've shown their ability to do it over and over again. I mean, how many times have I said adapt during this stream? If you're keeping count, please don't tell me, because it's way too big of a number. But the point is still there. They are just better at doing that. Now they move on to the favorable side after an even half on defense. It doesn't look good for Red Right Hand, but maybe they'll pull something out. There are definitely teams that play better on defense.
5 seconds to insertion.
HK Rebels is my team for that. They're my team for that. They're my defensive team, and seeing them go 3-3. I think you're right in that Red Right Hand can take this one. I think there is the opportunity, but we saw HK Rebels last time around pull out blitzes and just turn the entire game around and start to really stomp that one out. So I wouldn't count any team as favored just yet. Just yet. We'll see how the first few go and how quickly they can do it. But look at this take. We're already in.
What do you think Red Right Hand needs to do if they're going to stop Hong Kong Rebels from taking fast map control and making sure they just trade down?
Not pick Doc.
Not pick Doc.
Yeah. Just don't pick the Doc.
Okay. Doc is really in meta on this site specifically because you can fire out the Doc in the safe corner and Doc can heal himself and you can't get him out. And that safe corner is incredibly powerful on this site.
I just don't like the Doctor. I just don't like it. It's not my favorite one.
That explains a lot.
And look, I'm just an aggressive player on defense or attack, and I just don't like it as much. And I feel like Alibi is very, very good on the defender side. I just think it does a lot. And Legion also on that side, I think it just buys you more time. And not having a Frost, regardless of map, I think they're kind of, you have to have one of them at least. But Ipoa, it doesn't matter. Schmink falls, and yeah, HK looking strong to start.
What a play! Absolutely massive, just walking in, you know, letting it hang, and there it goes. 2 more kills just off the fact that you have a player on the top blue position. You can't get him out of there. That is tough to deal with. And that's exactly the same kind of thing that we saw Red Right Hand pull off against Outlast. No more is HKR doing that instead, because no one plays utility like HKR, and Vipoa is here to prove it. Diffuser off the board. Finally, Sen as well. These pre-placed drones is giving away every single piece of information. I mean, look at that. He knows exactly where he is. It's just, that round is a slaughter, and if that's an indication of how the attack is going to go, Red Right Hand may as well start packing their bags.
That was absolutely cracked. And something I did say, you pointed out that what I didn't like was Doc. What I like on defense is aggression or the ability to slow down a team on that take. And they just couldn't slow them down, and they just ran in, killed everyone. They just out-mechanicked them on the angles. They just forced them in positions, and that is terrifying as a defensive side to be like, guys, what happened?
We are not in control of this round. Like,
but it was so fast. It wasn't like oh, we've taken a little bit of control, we've given up some space. It was like, oh, I'm dead, and I don't know how that happened. It must be terrifying for Red Right Hand. Going, we went even. We have advantages here. We're on defensive side, and then HK Rebels go, no, you don't. Like,
I mean, it's just, it is nuts. Like, I can hear, like, in my mind's eye, my players, like, someone jumps through that window, walks straight up to the player playing on the blue stairs after he gets flashed. I can hear my, you know, my player that plays that position just screaming, like, what the heck? Why is he there? What are you doing? Winning, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. And Flawless to start off that attacking side has to put a big dampener on the side of Red Right Hand. Flawless is something you don't want to get first time around on that swap. After playing so well in the first half to take that advantage and bring it back to a draw. So look at Vipoa, that's so aggressive, constantly moving in. Stairs cleared, nothing there. Keep moving, guys, don't worry about it. Look at this turn, he's going to go around the corner, doesn't care. He's so fast, he's just constantly moving, taking out cameras, utility, breaches, floor, everything right now that they need. Oh my god.
Simply efficient. Like, that is the power of German engineering. I feel like I feel like I'm watching an Audi commercial, you know? Just watching Vipoa walk around, get info from his teammates as fast as they can feed it to him, and just absorb it all. Just instantly. And know exactly what he needs to do with that info. I mean, really just fantastic play by Vipoa. You know, I couldn't have said it better myself. And yeah, here we are. 5-5 in a minute and a half, and actually no control on the second floor. This is a vertical take. We're expecting that we're expecting that Rebels is going to take into this fireplace position, which they are starting right now. They're going to start making a little bit of vert, or alternatively, they could be going for this hatch. But in any case, they've just now taken the preliminary control that they need, and Red Right Hand is not prepared for it. Doug finds 2. Red Right Hand goes down in man, and suddenly this just looks rough.
Yeah, Doug, the bounty hunter, once again goes big. And yeah, just speed, efficiency, power. HK Rebels have everything right now, and as we continue to see them, of course, then here comes the hologram as well, more information. Easy does manage to pick up Vipoa on the other side of things, and Burnt Turkey also falls to Sen, so it's not a clean take, not a flawless, but they're still in a good position. Not a lot of time left though, and I always get worried when I see that timer, and we do see another one fall. Schmink takes that one. Jetcon does fall. Rai and Doug, the 2 remaining members here. Doug sees the peak, doesn't find the shots, will have to step back just a little bit. More shots come through, but we'll need to go for that reload. And too many members stacking around this area now. Too much information given over, and we will see Rai actually on the other side takes out Beezy. Will get taken out by Schmink. It is all down to Rai, and Rai downs one, is looking for the other. Oh, this is going to be a tense one now. This has to be scary. Does take out one more. Diffuser picked up, and they won't take the round. Timing played in red right hand. They take it, and you're smiling. You're happy.
The barbed wire.
Changes everything.
It really does. It's crazy. But the hardest thing you can do in this game is determine exactly when you need to be passive and when you need to be aggressive. And Sen just saw that breach open and say, well, I can't play. Like, I have no ability to play around the pillar position anymore. Like, there is way too much pressure on me there. There is less pressure on me if I actually take into Boiler. And so he did, and he found a pick off of it. A pick that completely gave up the control that HK Rebels had already taken in that trench hall. And that was it. That was the end of the round. The ability to say, this is where I get aggressive, this is the exact time to do it, and then win that firefight. That is not something that you see every day. That is the reason that we have been giving Sen so much praise. That's why he wins so often. Why he wins so many firefights. And it was very good play. Now he just needs to do it 3 more times.
Just 3 more times. Just 3. Well, it is 4 for 4. It is very, very close. We're still 2
now he
points
needs to do
away.
it 3 more times and then 14 more times after that.
Don't put it like that. You'll stress them. You'll stress them. But yeah, there's 2 rounds till match point. If someone takes an advantage here, they could run away with it and keep that momentum up. But I feel like HK Rebels, after that flawless, wonderful stuff. Great stuff. I feel like that round could have been in their favor if they just played it a little bit slower around that mid to late of the clock, but it doesn't go that way. And I think they'll have a much better plan coming through this time around. Look at Vipoa again. Look at this entry. Look at the speed of this man. Does not care for his own health. The camera ahead of him, give him information. He's going to take his time. See that angle opening up for him.
I gotta show this video. I gotta show this stream to my entries. Oh my goodness. What a shot. Beezy off the board.
Yeah, he's cracked.
Find the entry.
He's cracked. Absolutely, he's showing up every single time. He's absolutely insane right now. And he spots 1, spots 2. Look,
what do you think the odds are he jumps in this window again?
No, he'll take 1 kill first. And then he'll swing around. He'll get some bullets in. And he's going to jump through the window.
He's going to jump through the window. The second there's a little bit of pressure there. 3, 2, 1. Yep, there it is. Nate comes through. They are expecting it a little more, so he does manage to get out. But the fact is, he has made it in that window. He's taken a lot of map control. And with another kill by JetCon, red right hand is in a rough spot.
Yeah, and Schmink is kind of cut off from the team right now. Won't be able to look for any trades. Ascend starting to make their rotate back and pushed out, flashed out, taken out. And well, what do you do if you're red right hand right now? What is the game plan going in? Because they have your number right now. HK Rebels have it. They've called it. You've been picking up every single time, but you've died every single time as well. HK Rebels, I think they have this one. They're looking so comfortable.
Sen is in a little bit of an off position, obviously. He's hanging out here in mud. He's got a few angles that could be potent, as well as the fact that he's got a bit of crossfire with Schmink. But he wants to get aggressive. Not going to work out. Vipoa, once again, just finding the pick. JetCon with the second. One more round in favor of HK Rebels.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts. I'm actually in shock.
Thoughts head empty. Just by the sheer force of Hong Kong Rebels, their ability to...
There's no light behind my eyes anymore. There's no light behind my eyes. They've just... I feel flashbanged.
Okay, here is the thing that's interesting to me, though. Is every time we see a team win a round, obviously we've been praising Hong Kong Rebels quite a bit. Red right hand is still only a round behind them. And every time they win a round, it looks pretty dominant too. Like, these are definitely two teams that seem pretty well matched up, but we can just look at Hong Kong Rebels and it's like art. And that's why we keep talking about them.
It's like a great painting coming together as we watch them come in, and we do see some changes coming through. Ash, Sledge, we see Nomad, possibly. Possibly. I think there's a lot we can say for HK Rebels in the way that they're playing and the strength that they're playing with.
10 seconds.
Red Right Hand are still by no means a bad team, but that scares me more.
5
Is that
seconds
HK
left.
Rebels are just that good, and yeah, we do see IQ coming through. It doesn't end up being Nomad. Sophia will come through. I like their setup every single time. I don't see HK Rebels, if they go for something weird, like the Blitz, they play it in such a way that it looks like this is how the game is meant to be played. So, very, very scared here for them, as we do see, once again, setups coming through, Red Right Hand. Do they start going for more entries? Look at Jetcon's camera work, man. That must be like his college degree in like photography. The way he just gets into these positions, man.
Yeah, no, literally this camera work is actually like, oh my gosh, like how do you put your camera there? Like this is like a master class in how to drone and not lose your camera, not give away information. Honestly, anyone who's looking to get better at this meta in particular, watch this camera work. But it's going to be Senpine in first pick. Rai off the board. Beautiful shot as he peeks the ego window. Or that wasn't ego window, that was piano window. But in any case, still a beautiful shot. Ping comes out. Frost is aware of the player, but is taken down. The ping. By the time the ping comes down, it's too late. You're already marked for death.
Yeah, and they have retrieved the diffuser as well, so they're looking good. The window comes through. He manages to break that on the entry. There is someone above him. I think he knows, but he's not landing the shots right now by Poa. Decides to leave that one. Does seem to step up above, but it goes 1 for 1 again. Doug does take out Owen, and Diffuser does take out Burnt Turkey. Health bars weren't an advantage, but that frag will make the difference. We'll see Jetcon getting pushed out and chipped, but the way they're playing, look at they dropped down. Why did you
yeah, I'm gonna hit that one with a question mark.
Attackers are activating.
Yeah, Schmink, the diffuser has been planted. He is going to go for it. It is a 1 for 1 right now. He's going to slip around this corner, but will get taken out by Vipoa, and that is a massive, massive swing for HK Rebels.
Massive swing indeed. They've got 2 rounds of leniency that they can win. Rather, they have a whole round of leniency before they even have to think about overtime. They could take this right now, and with the way that Rebels have been playing, I expect them to. Red Right Hand 100% has the opportunity to do well. They do. They are a good team. They can do well, but at this point, you're playing a team like Hong Kong Rebels. You're watching them do God knows what. Round after round, it's completely different, and you're just, what do? You have to play your game. And at this point, Red Right Hand is probably too frazzled to be able to do that.
It's back to the prayer. Back to the prayer.
Back to the prayers, yep. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers will get you through this. I'm sure. Thoughts and prayers have really worked in the past of stopping bullets, but this time it might actually work, and I think HK Rebels, they have some time to play with as well. Oh, Dokkaebi, go for it. Go for the Dokkaebi. Go on, Doug. Do it for me. Do it for the casters. You got the Blitz and you got a Jackal. I want the Dokkaebi. We have some spies. We have some spies. Dokkaebi, one of my favorites. Not that it's good or anything. It just sounds cool to say.
Well, Dokkaebi is actually pretty meta right now. Like, Dokkaebi bans are not uncommon even. Exactly because, you know, I've mentioned it time and time again. If you can get information without giving away information, you're winning. You know?
So they're already winning. This is how you win more.
Exactly. So with the pulse coming out, the sound cues, only every member of Red Right Hand feels like they're under attack. And it's tense. You feel that down your spine and your hackles. They raise. You don't even know what's coming. The drones are going through sight. And you know in just a moment's time, all of HK Rebels is going to be prepared to enter, find the picks. They've got players. They're all crowding around, and this could be it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this could be it, as we do see 2 minutes now on the clock. Rai with that diffuser Already breaching, already starting this one off nice and hot. Explosion comes through, spots out that utility. We'll actually get that one out. The flash is coming through, the aggression coming through. Constantly pushing here, and look at this diffuser. No way. 130 and it's down. This time is going to put so much pressure onto Red Right Hand. They're losing 2 members immediately. They do manage to trade one back, but it is 4 versus 2. 3 versus 2. Easy has the opportunity but will fall, and it is all down to Schmink with a 30-second timer ticking away. He knows he is in trouble right now. Has a lot to do. GGs are coming through, but what can you say? HK Rebels. Clean.
That round was art. I would love to pull that round in with like Epic Pen and everything and just like analyze it, because it was so just clean and nice. Like, you get your drones in, you see no one's in that side of the site, and you say, okay, let's set up what we need to set up. Let's do everything that we would normally do, but let's just do it really, 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 really fast.
Speed.
I mean,
I said it so many times. Speed. If they get in fast, they just win. And HK Rebels done it again.
Under 10 seconds from when they started opening up the walls to when that shield was gone and they were planting.
And don't forget the stairs flashes.
Yes.
By Poe just jumping walls.
Just beautiful play by Hong Kong Rebels. I mean, I understand why they picked that map now, because they were more than prepared. Absolutely incredible ability to adjust. Hong Kong Rebels, just an absolutely monstrous opponent, and now the proud owners of a cool $1,000
and 3 champions
and 3 championships.
Back to back HK Rebels have now won this, so many congrats can go out to them. Red Right Hand, they lost to them in the upper bracket, made their way back, and it was good from them. Let's not lie, they did play exceptionally good Siege, but HK Rebels just edging it out there and really showing people why they are the top team, and that is the team to beat every single time now in all of our majors here at Game Rogue. But actually, you know what? I'll let you do the outro. You done the intro, I'll let you do the outro. You can lead us out with this one. You can lead us out.
Well, I mean, first off, I just want to thank all the teams that participated. And coming up to this culmination at the grand finals of our major event, of which there were 2 whole qualifier tournaments too. I mean, there's been a lot going into this particular game, and this is really what Game Rogue is about. I mean, you saw how good Red Right Hand was fantastic, and HKR just painted a masterpiece all over that whole game. I mean, that's really what Game Rogue is about. So I really just want to say thank you to everyone who came out. I will also as well say thank you to all of the casters, everyone who worked production. Huge shout out to Elite Esports EU on Twitter, otherwise known as Mark Power. Fantastic job with production, as well as Giggy also helping with production. We had several observers. I can't name them all because there are too many to count, and they all did a wonderful job. And I want to thank all of you guys for watching, and I want to remind you, we've got the April Fool's Gold Tournament coming up. That is another $1,000 prize pool. If you're looking to put a nice lining in your pockets, that is a good place to go for it. Signups are already live. But in the meantime, I've been Yali. Very grateful to be able to work on this. I was joined by Satyr, and we will see you all in the next event.
Peace.
I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey, wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no.
Oh, I swear you fucked it up. Ever since you left, all I knew was to run my money up. And now you see I'm coming up, got it on my own. I was down bad on my ass, and I can find a happy home. Yeah. Promise I won't bother you. No sense ain't calling you. Don't know why I would fall for you. I should have offered you. Baby, I can't talk to you. I'm just not comfortable. Baby, you're not lovable.
meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey wow. I'm zoning, I'm spaced. I'll take these meds to the face now. Drink till I black. Hear your voice with the hey wow. I just made it, you never thought I could do it, proved you wrong. Countless fucking reasons we ain't get along. Still looking at my page, but don't hit my phone. Bitch, I did it, I'm at the top. She was at the after party, so she is an afterthought. We was traveling all around the globe, and I know you wish you still stuck around, oh no. I was thinking about you, but you were way too far away. Why'd you go away? I said, why'd you go away? I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left to say. I'm stuck in my ways. I said, I am on my way. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake. So gone in space. I don't think I'll be the same. Don't come back when I have fame. At least I'm left with you to blame. Honestly, can't you see what you've done to me? Like honestly, how could you move on from me? I proved you wrong, and I lost it all. Like when I left, I lost control. It's all your fault, I'm on my own. Tell me what's going on, what's in your head? I miss your voice, miss you in bed. Constant text you left on red. I'll never see your face again. I'm too lost, don't know what I'm on. Without you, I'm gone. I'm just way too numb. So I'm on the way. 100 missed calls from yesterday. So I contemplate picking up the phone and make another mistake.